sacred game. Catch your breath.
What a time to be alive.
The World Junior Hockey Championship. Can you believe it?
EU team is spectacular.
Players here are overrated.
We are not scared of them.
Hear that, Jersey?
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back.
Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July? I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
Smile, boys, you've waited for this your entire lives. 25 teenagers from towns like Lake Country, BC, Cypress River, Manitoba, Whitehorse, Yukon, Macklin, Saskatchewan, Elmira, Ontario, St. Hyacinth, Quebec, all coming together to chase gold at the tournament they grew up watching. Canada's World Juniors starts now in Princestown.
Here we go.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called
Championship. James Duthie alongside Cheryl. Russia. That morphed into the U.S. as their program developed. But the last few years, there's been a new nemesis alongside the Americans. Canada's final game at the last 3 World Juniors has been against Czechia. That dramatic gold medal game in Halifax in overtime. Shout out Dylan Gunther. And the last 2 crushing quarterfinal losses. So a fitting first opponent to this World Juniors. To get you ready for it, Gord Miller and Mike Johnson.
And James, for the longest time, draft-eligible players were not expected to make an impact in this tournament. But along came Connor Bedard, along came Macklin Celebrini, and now Gavin McKenna, returning from last year, one of 6 for the Canadian teams, who has high expectations from scouts and himself.
Yeah, we have high expectations for him. He has higher expectations of himself. He, like all the members of last year's team, was disappointed with how it went as a team and for him individually. He's gone to college. He made an unusual decision for such a highly rated prospect to go down to college in his draft year, and he's learning how to play a different kind of game. He's not piling up the points. There's questions creeping in. Maybe is he not quite as good as he looked last year in Medicine Hat? And he's dealt with all this beautifully. He understands that the spotlight is on him. He wants that attention. He wants that pressure. He wants the opportunity to remind everyone, when I play against the best players in the world my age, I'm the best of those guys. He's trying to reestablish that starting tonight at the World Juniors this year.
Canada's got 16 players in the CHL this year. So do the Czechs. In fact, tonight, 9 players on the 2 teams will face a Canadian Hockey League teammate as Canada gets set to open against the Czechs. James?
Gentlemen, thank you. If you missed the pregame, it's a long 90-second walk for Canada from their dressing room across one ice surface to this ice surface, the home of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's not fair to burden one team with the failures of past teams. 19 new players here for Canada. And yet, after those 2 crushing quarterfinal losses, there is extra pressure. Do you think this group is up for it?
I look at this team, James, and I have similar feelings to looking at the U.S. last year, where just line after line was filled with game breakers, first-round picks, some NHL experience. They've got everything to get the job done here. And to add the coach in there, I really love what Team Canada's doing. And I think I'm going to be here for the long haul. They look like they can get it done.
Discipline, puck management, 2 things Dale Hunter has been trying to hammer home. Give me another key tonight.
Make a statement, James. Leave no doubt that you are for real in this tournament. Listen, you're not going to lose the tournament in your first game. You're certainly not going to win it. But what you can do is quiet everything off with a statement game against the team that has had your number the last couple years.
All eyes on, of course, Gavin McKenna, of course, TJ Ginla, Mike Misa, Porter Martone. But is there someone else you think Canadians will fall in love with in this tournament?
Yeah, the captain of the Sioux Greyhounds. I'm going right with Brady Martin. He's a disruptor. He's going to fight for the inside of the ice, and he likes to have a couple of plays donuts before the game. How can you not like that? But I think he's going to open up room for McKenna and guys like Michael Hage, because he works to get inside the dots. He plays a physical and a heavy game.
We mentioned the Czech success here, 3 straight medals, and there's belief this is one of the strongest teams they've ever sent here. But Canada won its first ever gold medal in 1982 in Minnesota, hoping for some mini magic again. Gord Miller, Mike Johnson.
And welcome to day 1 of the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship. And we've saved the best for last as Canada takes on Czechia at 3M Mariucci Arena in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the home of the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the site of play in Group B in this World Junior Hockey Championship. The referees for today's game are Adam Tobias of the United States, Alexander Osterberg of Sweden, Scott Allen of the U.S. as a linesman, along with Luka Makinen. And in goal for Canada, returning from last year, we led the tournament in save percentage at .936. Carter George from Thunder Bay, Ontario, plays for Owen Sound in the Ontario League, a second-round pick of the LA Kings in the 2024 NHL Draft. Michael Orszalak is the goaltender for the Czechs, plays for Prince Albert in the Western League. His first year in the Western League, he's got a .908 save percentage for them. He's undrafted. Dale Hunter, the 65-year-old second-time head coach of the Canadian national junior team, guided them to gold in Czechia in 2020. Patrick Auguste, his 3rd year of the head coach of the Czech national junior team. And the Czechs have won medals in the last 3 World Juniors.
boys. Wait for the guy here. You know? Here we go. Yeah, Canada, you start with the stick down. Yeah, you start with the stick down, then you come later, okay? Yeah, perfect. Everyone's ready? Good luck. Have fun, boys. Yeah, let's go.
And here we go. Cole Baudouin wins that face-off back. And Canada is the road team in this game. The Czechs have the last change. Cole Baudouin, who was ejected from the game against the Czechs last year for a kneeing penalty, in the forecheck. Brought back out by Wojtek Chihasz. Sends that back down, and Chihasz got straightened up at center ice. Jet Luchenko winds in, drops that back. Here comes Carson, calls a shot. That's deflected just wide. And Luchenko takes a hard bump in the corner from Václav Nestrashil, one of the top freshman goal scorers in the NCAA, playing for UMass Amherst. Lead pass finds Peter Sikora, who was the player Baudouin hit last year. And Reshny lost the puck at the side of the goal. George makes a point-blank save. Rebound put high by Sikora. Two good early chances for the Czechs on the Canadian turnover. Luchenko sends that back down to the Czech line. Thomas Galvez, returnee from last year. Each team has 6 returnees from last year's tournament. And Michael Misa, who was not part of the Canadian team last year, chips that to center ice. Brought back in by Galvez. Drops it off to Adam Benak, who plays for Brantford. In the Ontario League, there are 5 Brantford Bulldogs in this game. 3 for the Czechs, 2 for Canada. TJ Ginla sends that rink wide. Porter Martone, the captain, had that knocked down by Galvez. Well, the pass at center ice out of the reach of Benak. And here is Cameron Reid of the Kitchener Rangers of the OHL for Misa. Joined the Canadian team from San Jose of the National Hockey League. And was thrilled when he was told in early December that he'd be coming to this tournament. Reid, lead pass to McKenna, takes the return pass and jumps in across the line. McKenna, 1-on-3, wins that battle for the puck, sends it back in front. The pass just bounced away, loose in front for Hage. That's batted down in front. McKenna takes a swipe at it. And now Adam Novotny brings it back out. Peterborough Pete's star player sends it back in, and George brings it back along the boards for McKenna. Chips that to the middle of the ice. And now McKenna back on it. Out the center, the pass got away from Hage. Hage, Martin, and McKenna played together in Canada's first pre-tournament game against the Swedes and scored a couple of goals, both by Martin. Step on hook. The Utah draft pick moves that down to the Canadian zone, and George is out to play it. Brings it back around for Keishon Aitchison. Barrie Colts defenseman slides that back to Ben Danford.
The Czech doesn't like what they see in front of them. They retreat back quickly.
Juracek for Tittlebach. That centering pass bounced away from Adam Juracek. He's playing in his 3rd World Junior. Moves it back down to Mate Kuliesa. Back at the point. That long drive floats wide. And racing to it is Braden Coots. Back around for Danford. He's tied up in the corner. Danford up along the boards. Now it's moved back by Liam Greentree. And waiting for it is Sam O'Reilly of the London Knights. And O'Reilly being harassed from behind.
That's a hook.
And a penalty coming to Nestrashil. Extra skater comes on for Canada. It's McKenna, but play is called, and Canada gets the first power play 3.5 minutes into the first period.
Everyone's into the game now. A long run of play without a whistle to start the game. And Nestrashil picks up the game's first penalty on a hook in the offensive zone. Sam O'Reilly uses the net.
Hooking.
Keeps the puck on the inside of the ice, and that is about 3 different sequences of a hook from Nestrashil. And that was after this tough bank for Reshny, forcing Carter George to make a great save early. Not necessarily the first touch you want to see. And for Canada, it was Michael Hage right on top of Orshilak for their one chance of the game.
Canada struggled for long stretches on the power play in last year's tournament. An early chance here in game 1. Zane Parekh quarterbacks it. Parekh plays it back across McKenna. Hard drive.
No skate blade.
The skate blade out of Wojtek Chihasz.
What do you do now?
Now it's loose in front. Bouncing puck put wide by Reshny. Chihasz is trying to get to the Czech bench, hopping there, and with the clear is able to do so.
And if you're Reshny, you almost don't want to waste a semi-chance when you have guys stuck without a skate blade on the ice.
Parekh drops that back. And in comes Hage, the Michigan Wolverine star. Drops it back to Martin with a shot that deflects wide. McKenna back on it. And now picked up and brought back by Max Curran of the Edmonton Oil Kings of the Western League. Curran shoots, and George steers that away. Gathered back up by Martin. And Brady Martin winds in. Drops that back to Hage. Hage slings it back to McKenna for Parekh. Shoots, but for a stick in front. And that just missed. Now Parekh holds. Feeds it back across. Hage also looking for the tip by Martin. And it skips by McKenna and back down to the Canadian zone. Away comes McKenna. Poke check by Novotny at center ice, and TJ Ginla sends it back down to the Czech zone. And Novotny fires it back down. Third straight year that Canada has had the son of a dad who played in this tournament. 2 years ago, it was Jorian Donovan, whose dad, Sean, played in '95. Last year, Ethan Gauthier, Denny played in '96, and this year, TJ Ginla, son of Jerome, who was a star in the 1996 tournament in Boston. Harrison Burdick with it now. Up for Misa. That bounces right back in front, knocked away from Misa. As Orshulak was careful with that. Ginla flips it back around for Luchenko. Luchenko back across. That's miscued by Martone. Brunick back down to Martone. Nestersil steps back on the ice. No shots on the power play. Now sent back out. Here's Nestersil on the breakaway. Nestersil just out of the box. Works right in. Stopped in tight by George. One of the most dangerous young goal scorers in the NCAA. Turned away point blank by Carter George. And now Martone winds in. Galvas had his pocket picked by Misa. Now gathered back up by Richard Jimlichka. What a start to this game.
Carter George only faced a couple shots, but great chances, both of them.
Now picked back up by Ethan McKenzie. And a long lead pass. This time it's Canada's over for break. Sam O'Reilly comes in, put that wide. Breakaways both ways in the first 7 minutes of the first period. Here come the Czechs again. Chiach in, shoots George, save, rebound, loose in front. That's tapped away by Caleb Desnoyers. That shot fluttered wide by Shanichka.
I'm not sure either coach wants to be trading breakaways early on in the game.
O'Reilly back around, waiting for it on the far side is Caleb Desnoyers, the 4th overall pick to Utah in the 2025 draft. Ethan McKenzie plays it back in. And a battle for it in the corner. Baudouin trying to knock that free. Jet Luchenko on it. We welcome those of you who are watching Germany and the United States. The U.S. with an early knee knocker in that one, but wins it 6-3. Sweden had a close win over Slovakia earlier today in Group A. And here Canada scoreless with the Czechs in the first period. Both teams had a breakaway so far. And that centering pass by Carson Karls knocked astray. Czechs like their team this year. They've won medals in 3 consecutive World Juniors. At center ice and a big hit there by Baudouin. Zane Parekh's the first man in the forecheck for Canada. The defenseman had jumped up. Now Brady Martin comes in trying to knock that free. Knocked down by McKenna. In comes Gavin McKenna. Winds in, trying to flip that back in front. The pass was blocked by Adam Jiricek. Hage centers it. Right back across. McKenna with a shot. That's blocked by Jiricek as well. And this time, Keyshawn Aitchison can't hold the line. Aitchison for McKenna. Rink wide he goes. Brought back in. And a shot there taken by Hage is stopped in tight by Orshulak. The goaltenders are getting tested here in the early going. Nestersil turned away by Carter George. And then moments later, it's Sam O'Reilly just missing.
It is the work that no one sees. It is relentless. It screams at you. One more set, one more rep, one more time. It is what fuels you. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up. Good morning. So I think really our focus is
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Well, my numbers go. If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock only from TELUS.
There's definitely quality over quantity to start this game. Nestor Seal out of the penalty box, in alone on Carter George, and Carter George is all over this. Nothing for Nestor Seal to shoot at. And Sam O'Reilly sprung a couple minutes later. He elects to shoot, and Prince Albert Raider Orshulak turns him aside with his blocker. Worth noting that Orshulak catches with his right hand, so his blocker catches are in slightly different positions when you get in on a breakaway.
Misa out for the face-off. Misa, one of 6 Canadian players who's played in the National Hockey League this season. And off the draw, controlled by Canada. Here is Misa. In the corner to McGinley. Keisha Ginla. With Martone parked in front, goes back to Aitchison. In shoots, it's off a skate and wide. Brunick. He played for Pittsburgh this year. Back across to Misa. Aitchison fans in that pass. Now trying to gather it back up, and it's banked back out by Adam Novotny. It goes right down to George, who has to play it. And Brunick leaves it there for Ginla. Puts it back across to Aitchison, who banks that back to center ice to Braden Coots. And that play is called offside at the check line. Canada turns to Carter George. Again this year, the Thunder Bay native. 2nd-round pick of the LA Kings.
If you want your goalie to exude confidence and calm, Carter George is your guy. He seems unflappable in net.
Montero is a long-time national curling champion.
Might be harder for her to stay unflappable with Carter in there kicking in these tight games. Canada has great depth in net this year.
Jack Ivankovic, the backup today, is another returnee from last year. Off the face-off, it's won by Coots. Back to Parak. And chipped up by O'Reilly, but into the Canadian bench.
And so we're interested to see how the rotation develops between Carter George and Jack Ivankovic.
And Ivankovic expected to play tomorrow when Canada takes on Latvia.
Quick turnaround.
Ivankovic was the goaltender for Canada last year when they lost in that shootout to Latvia. He allowed 1 goal on 8 attempts in the shootout.
Feels like he did his part in that shootout.
Canada didn't score on their 8 attempts.
And that's why they brought in Kyle Turris this year as a shootout expert to help them in that situation if they get there.
Another face-off win for Canada. Parekh flips it high in the air. O'Reilly going after it. Racing back for the checks is Vladimir Drevetsky. Plays for Brandon.
Crazy bounce.
That's another bad bounce. We've seen that a couple of times in games so far in this rink. Now chip back ahead, and a rolling puck gets down to George. Still loose in front. O'Reilly's got it back. And Matthias Mann goes back to pick it up for the Czechs. Adam Yeko was scheduled to come back as returnee for them, but he broke his hand falling, walking to the ice for practice last week in Bemidji, Minnesota. So the Edmonton Oil Kings star will not play for the Czechs. Normal goaltender. I'd hope to have Jakub Mitala, who was injured last month. They do have a defenseman on their roster who's not been named yet, but they're hoping they can add later. The Czechs still have some open spots on their roster, as do the Canadians.
The Czechs are dressing 2 skaters less than the maximum in this game. 18 skaters.
Carter Blair and Keaton Verhoeven are with the Canadian team and not yet been named on the IHF official register. Now that long shot tipped wide by Baudouin. Reshny taps it back down to Martin. Feeds that back to McKenzie. McKenzie, a long shot tipped in front by Baudouin. Still loose in front. Gathered back up by Jiricek. The St. Louis first rounder moves it ahead to Chihaj. Flips it back down to the Canadian zone. George out to play it. Leaves it for McKenzie. Lifted back out by Danford. And the puck picked up by Martin. Flips it back in front. That was knocked away. A good defensive play by Thomas Galvis. McKenna pokes that free. Now moved up by Max Curran. And rink wide to go. Jumping in is Kanichka. And Kanichka can't quite get to that loose puck. loose in the corner. Drop back to Curran. The line he goes, and Galvis tight ropes the blue line. Long wrist shot was blocked in front by Hage. He couldn't find the loose puck. And now Hage has it back. And Curran was knocked down. He's slow to get to his feet. Brought back in by McKenna. In the high slot. Burdick moves it and shoots. That's blocked by Pasanichka. Hage at the side of the goal, and now the crossbar struck the goaltender Orszalak in the back of the head. He's down.
There's no penalty there. That's just a whistle. As the players were coming out from behind the net, were bumped into the back of it.
No score here in the opening period. 8:37 to go at the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship.
Exceptional. That's not a word Canadians throw around lightly. It's a distinction that's earned, designed to the highest standards. It's closer than you think, and you'll know it when you feel it. North Star Bets, exceptionally Canadian.
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment and stream hit series. Plus, Canadian Crave Originals. Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
The PWHL is more than a league. It's a family.
Dedication, unity, anything it takes.
Shared moments.
Shoots and scores!
Shared passion.
The real deal.
Scan the QR promo code on screen to get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months, and stream the latest blockbusters, Canadian Crave Originals, and hit series all in one place on Crave.
Game has settled in just a little bit the last 3 or 4 minutes after its very frenetic start.
And Misa steps in for the face-off. He's going to step on hook, and he wins it cleanly. Back to Perek with a shot. Steered away by Orszalak. Now Perek with it. Poked away from him. Martone kept it alive for a moment. Martone back defending. And then Misa ranges back. Finds Iginla. Tisha Iginla. The sharp angle. Wheels back in the corner. Looks back for Reed. Martone. For Perek, a long skipping shot. That's knocked away by Orszalak. Iginla on the forecheck, trying to knock that loose. Now Misa chops it down. Here comes Iginla again. Wins the battle for the puck. Loose in front. Rolls back. Martone drops it back to Reed, who hammered that wide. And Reed with a close call there. Brought back to center ice by Yuri Klima. He's pickpocketed as Misa drops it back for Desnoyers. Back across. That pass was knocked away. Good stick by Yuri Klima. Not related to the former Detroit Red Wing. A centering pass by Danford, knocked down by Coots. Here's Danford, a long shot that was blocked in front by Jiricek. And Adam Jiricek's been a shot-blocking machine for the Czechs here in the first period. Jiricek drops it off. There's the reach for the shot. George is a rebound, loose in front. And a close call there for Novotny. Now brought back and flipped back out by O'Reilly. And O'Reilly in on the forecheck, knocks that free. Coots centered it, but it's stolen by Adam Tittlebach. And Tittlebach of the Vancouver Giants comes across the line, but the play is called offside.
So the history between these two countries, well documented. Czechia ending the last 2 tournaments for Canada, but how about in warm? That's Martone. There's Aitchison having a word with the starting goalie. Also decided to skate on the wrong side of the red line. And a little touch with the stick. And Canada talked about wanting to get revenge. It was on their mind leading up to this game, and clearly on edge from the start of the warm-up against Czechia.
But there's been a lot of talk about discipline, of course, in that quarterfinal game last year. Canada shorthanded 5 times, allowed 2 power play goals.
There's no officials on the ice in warm-up, though. Should be okay.
Zanichka moves it back down in the Canadian zone. McKenzie back to pick it up. Brunick Moves it back ahead. Reshny trying to knock that down. And the play's offside at the Czech line.
And some of that bad blood is because of losses. Some of that bad blood because of contact. And it was Baudouin here on Sikora. And he got a 5 in a game for that kneeing penalty. And it was one of the several emotional moments in that game in which Czechia won. And the two of those guys faced off to open the game and were having words before opening puck drop. Maybe it was an apology, although somehow I think unlikely.
Age, McKenna, and Martin back out there for Canada. Again, the Czechs are the home team and have the last change, so Patrick Augusta can get a checking line out if he wants here. As Reed goes back, Cameron Reed knocks that around. Augusta in front, and a quick shot there for Adam Benak, and one of the most dangerous scorers in the Ontario League is turned away by Carter George.
And Benak pounces on a loose puck as a carom out of the corner ends up right in the slot. Benak jumps on it. Below center support, Canada's got two guys in the corner on against one Czechia player, and it bounces out. Benak, the guy you probably want with the puck on his stick, Carter George, there to squeeze it shut.
Benak 15 goals in 26 games this year for Brantford in the OHL.
Seems like everyone in Brantford this year is having a pretty good season.
Yeah. As a group.
Yes.
Here comes Hage. Winding in. And Hage, with a step, throws it back in front to McKenna. McKenna wheels it back. Score! Brady Martin fires it home, and Canada grabs the lead. And this line just keeps on cooking.
One of the early standouts of pre-competition in camp was Brady Martin. Michael Hage makes this all happen with his speed, though. He draws the traffic and gets it to Gavin McKenna with a little bit of space. And once McKenna has space, he's brilliant. Spins, wheels. This looks like a blind pass. It's not. Martin sliding and feeling the space in the lane, and McKenna finding him. But it's Hage driving it deep that sets it all up. Catch, release quickly to open the scoring for Canada in the tournament. Brady Martin continues his excellent form.
Began the year with Nashville of the National Hockey League. And these guys played together in the pre-tournament. They did not play in the second game, but they were quickly put back together after that loss to Sweden. That's poked away by Aitchison for Danford. Jiricek knocked that down, kept alive by Martone. And Hook has it back for the Czechs. In comes Iginla. TJ Iginla got squeezed there by Jakob Fibiger. Along the boards, that's knocked down by Danford, who had jumped up. And Misa trying to work that free for Iginla. Jiricek back with it. His brother David was the top defenseman in this tournament in 2023. Martone centers it, and Iginla with a chance. That's blocked again by Jiricek.
Puck is a magnet to him right now.
Nicely waved off as Danford goes back. Two plays for Brantford in the OHL. First round pick of Toronto in 2024. Danford fires it down. Waiting for it there is Vasilichka. And up to center ice, a race for it. As Tillbach moves in, he falls in front of Reed. Another chance, that's blocked off the stick of Galvas. Still loose in front, a backhand shot. Tillbach turned away and tied again by George. Martone. Up to Coots, who chips it back down to the Czech line. Inside 5 to go here in the opening period. Galvas with it. Canada with a tight turnaround will play Latvia tomorrow afternoon. The Czechs will play Denmark tomorrow night. Danes lost their opener earlier today, 6-2 to Finland. Gave up 2 goals in the first 2.5 minutes of that game.
All right, next dude, keep an eye.
Kaliska. In for Sikora. Now Perek plays it back around to Reed. Bouncing puck to Reed. And Denoyer has it back. Along with O'Reilly. Denoyer works in, feeds it across. Baudouin back to a pass, just missing, trying to find O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to work that free. And it's brought back by Wojtek Chiazza. LA's second round pick. Baudouin. Back around for Reschny, but loose in front, Baudin put that just wide. And O'Reilly races back as he's being trailed there by Politin. Lead pass for Reschny, bounced away from him. Benak comes back the other way. Benak centers it, racing back. That's knocked away by Brunik. As Politin goes sliding into the Canadian goal. Now brought back by Luchenko. Drop for Reschny. Reschny tried to center it. That pass was blocked by Jiricek.
Look out, indeed.
Here's Politin. In on Karls. He lost his stick. And now Curran centers it. That's swept away by Baudouin, but not out. Wasanichka drops it back for Benak. That long shot, tip score! Deflected in front by Thomas Politin. And the Czechs have tied it up inside 3 to go in the first period.
Perfect tip by Politin as Karls had dropped his stick. The group was a little bit tired. It's a man-on-man, and nobody's got the man in front. A little bit of confusion for Canada on the high roll up top. No chance for Carter George whatsoever. You got to talk it out and make sure if you're going to cover anybody, that's the guy you cover. You don't chase guys out by the blue line if there's confusion. Luchenko was there, Brunik were there, down low. Neither one of those two guys ties up Politin, and late in the first, Czechia ties it up.
Politin in his first year with Kelowna of the Western League has 14 goals in 25 games there. He's a fourth-round pick of the New York Islanders.
That all CHL line, Politin, Curran, and Benak striking for Czechia.
And so the Hage, Martin, McKenna line comes back up for Canada after the goal. Hage holds the puck along the boards, feeds it back to McKenzie. Fluttering puck, he couldn't keep it alive, and now it's brought back out by Novotny. Adam Novotny works in. Novotny shoots, bouncing puck in front, they tap it back. And that shot fired wide by Yuri Klima. Novotny, a long shot that was blocked in front by Danford. McKenna up to Hage, who was tied for second in NCAA scoring when he left for the Canadian camp. Up to Danford, drops it off to Martin. Back to Hage with some room, shoots, scores! Michael Hage with a long-distance rocket, and Canada's back on top. And this line strikes again.
Chemistry is so palpable for this line. Everyone moving together. And it's the play here. Hage stops up, support underneath from McKenna in a good defensive position to hit the activating defender on the far side, Danford. And then it's Martin to Hage with lots of traffic crisscrossing. And that's Danford, who was starting the play, flashing in front of the eyes of Orsulak. Hage goes bar down to regain the lead for Canada.
Hage, the Montreal first-round pick in 2024, was not invited to play for Canada last year.
That is a 5-man unit goal. Everybody involved for Canada.
And in comes Misa now. Misa works it back down. The skipping puck knocked away, but Misa's back on it. And Kubiesa knocked it back out for the Czechs. Misa knocked off stride at center ice. Kubiesa. That lead pass for Zemlichka. And brought back by Martone. Martone to Misa. Back for Martone. Tipped that wide. Kubiesa. Knocked down by Iginla. And TJ Iginla's back on it. Holds the line. Here comes Iginla. Feeds it back to the bouncing puck for Misa. Put that wide. Misa back on it. Squeeze there by Jiricek. At the line, it skips by Parekh and back down the ice as Reed goes back.
That's not about icing. Pretty sure it was deflected past Parekh all the way down. Parekh was falling for it.
Denoye looks ahead for Coots. And Coots knocked his man off stride. He's got a stick on Galvis.
Another Czech player behind the Canadian defenseman. That is something I have to watch after the first intermission.
In comes Coots. That centering pass is knocked away. Pasanichka. Brought back in by Sikora. That long shot knocked away by George. Final minute now, the opening period. Pasanichka. Long shot again, goes off the skate of O'Reilly. What a first period we've had. Both teams had early breakaways. And Canada retakes the lead less than a minute after the Czechs had tied it. Now O'Reilly back in front. In backhand shot. looks around, but he's got it. What a chance there for the Canadians. Fans from both sides with lots to cheer for in the early going at the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
Wally, get as much cash as you get your hands on and meet me at the Halsey.
You want to go hustling again?
174, 175. Bounce back, baby, yeah!
Canada's Ultimate 50-50 is back. 3 huge draws across the country. It's Hockey Canada's biggest power play yet. Score your chance to win at hockeycanada5050.ca or scan the QR code on your screen.
Orszalak with a huge save late in the first period. As Brunick gets on his horse, takes advantage of a forward trying to play defense, and Secret tries to slip in 5-hole. I think there was room there. It just elevated a bit into the pants and stuck to not go across the line. This has been a fast and furious first period.
Canada retakes the lead 37 seconds after the Czechs had tied it. He's for the face-off, but that's won by Curran. And icing called against the Czechs.
Invest with Fidelity, and reaching your goals may just take less time than you think.
The 10-8 shot clock and 2-1 score hardly does it justice. There's been so much more going on than that might indicate.
Neeson for the face-off against Curran, wins it cleanly. Back to McGinley. McGinley to Reed, back across to Parekh. Zane Parekh moves in, one hand on his stick. Parekh dances back in the corner. Zane Parekh gets spun around. And now it's kept alive by Misa. Parekh looks back in front for Martone. And it kind of skipped away from him. Martone back on it. Takes a hard bump in the corner from Juracek. Picked free by Iginla. Iginla back for Parekh. A long shot. That was blocked in front by Juracek, who blocks that shot as well. Better chance this time by Martone. Still loose. Between the legs goes Iginla. And the referee says no goal. As time expires here at the end of the first period, Iginla almost scored a highlight reel goal there.
He went with the Datsuk through the legs, and it was the forward behind Orszalak, I think, who blocked the shot. Martone with one block and another, and everyone battling away. It's Curran. Is it Max Curran playing goal? And where was he standing? Has great awareness, battling around the net. Iginla gets it up, and not to make sure that one didn't get over the line. Better look here at the overhead. Misa battling, drawing attention. Oh my goodness, he made a glove save and got it out without putting his hand on it to keep it 2-1 Canada. That was close. Canada doesn't want to leave the ice. They want to see what the review says.
A frenetic end to a wild first period. Now there's a discussion.
All piled around the bench trying to watch the replay for Canada.
Curran batted the puck away. Did he close his hand on it?
I don't think you can review that after the there's Canada trying to see the replay about what has happened. And here's 12 Curran go behind. It gets shot into the palm of his glove.
And then he
throws it. That should be a penalty shot if they could have called it real time. Even though it was accidental going to his glove, he caught it and chucked it around the post out of harm's way.
Reviewing the play if the puck crossed the blue line. We have no goal on the ice.
I want to see if the puck crossed the goal line.
So, to me, Gord, it did not cross the goal line. It was right on top of it, inside his glove. Michael Misa's shaking his head. No, he's seeing it in replay. They're not reviewing to see if he covered the puck with his hand, just if it went in. So, I don't think, despite Canada's hopes, that this puck got over It's hard to tell. It's not hard to see Max Curran throwing the puck around the post after he had stopped it. Here's a great look at it. 12's left hand. It's on his shin, but his knee it's trapped between his glove and his shin, and his shin looks to me like it's above the goal line. If the refs could do this over, they would call a penalty shot right here. He makes the save, he grabs the puck in his hand and throws it out and around the post. That's a penalty shot. That won't be called though, because the review for over the goal line, as close as it is, I really think that knee stayed ahead of the goal line, so it should stay 2-1.
But that should be a penalty shot.
Should have been. I don't think it's going to be.
So the Canadians have had a long look at this. The officials are looking at it. The referees, Adam Tobias of the United States.
The whole Canadian team's on the ice still. There's about a half dozen Czechia players hanging around the bench. Orszalak is an interested viewer with his mask off watching as well, hoping that it stays just 2-1.
It's not reviewable. No, closing the hand of the puck, so
they'll see it and they'll know they missed it, but that doesn't matter. I think this one should be no goal. End of the period.
Alexander Osterberg is the referee from Sweden.
After reviewing the play, the call on the ice confirmed we have no goal.
And now Martone goes right over and says, but he closed his hand of the puck.
And it'll be explained to him, it's nothing we can do. Sometimes that's how it goes.
2-1 Canada leads. We're just getting started at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Medals program to representing Team Canada. Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons. Try the Tim's Holiday Meal today.
On a crisp winter night by a couch twice their size, gathered a family who saw things with childlike eyes. What was this festive feel? Why the Tim's holiday meal? There were lattes and donuts topped off with Biscoff, flatbread pizzas with festive fun socks. Let's light up the tree, we heard them cheer. Well, they laughed. A small blunder, my dear. So if you too want that magical feel, feed your inner child with the Tim's holiday meal.
So you corporate types think you're rock stars?
That's as ridiculous as us being corporate types. Let's begin.
Rockstar move using Workday to handle all our AI agents.
Well, watch me handle my agent, Gary. Bubbly water, no bubbles.
So what'd you do this weekend?
The usual.
Shout out to Carmen for using Workday to manage our people and AI agents.
What are we doing?
Just clap.
Carmen!
There's the guy who said his trade-in was in perfect condition.
Well, what do you think?
Well, let's see here. It looks pretty nice on the outside. Look, got a teeny tiny scratch right there, and whoa, game changer. You didn't tell me that you had WeatherTech floor liners?
Of course. I also have the cargo liner and seat protector.
I mean, the carpet looks brand new.
So what do you think of my trade-in now?
It just went up, way up.
Thought so.
Protect your investment. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
This holiday season, Uber Eats is stacking up the savings. Get 30% off beauty gifts from Shoppers Drug Mart. Save on makeup, fragrances, and more. Save 30% on holiday beauty gifts from Shoppers Drug Mart delivered right to your door with Uber Eats.
Came for the tourney? Journey is a contest for knights. You a knight?
I could squire for you, sir. Every knight needs a squire. You look like you need one more than most.
If I could call myself a champion, maybe House Targaryen might take me in.
Targaryens, they're incestuous aliens. And tyrants.
So, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you?
2-1 Canada after one. Brady Martin likes to eat 2 Timmy's chocolate donuts and a double-double before every game. If he keeps this up, it may become a nutritional trend. The Elmira, Ontario native now with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Brady, in these short-term tournaments where chemistry is so valuable, what's it like to strike goals with guys like McKenna and Haig as a line?
Yeah, I mean, pre-tournament we were pretty good together, and yeah, they put us back together, so I think we keep playing the same way. I think we'll do just fine.
First period of World Junior Hockey, you net your first goal. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, it's crazy. I never would have expected I'd be here today, but yeah, no, I'm happy I'm here, and I can't wait for games to come.
I'm curious, you have a fun pregame snack you often eat, the double-double and the 2 chocolate-glazed donuts. I have to think those were eaten before today's game?
There's no Timmy's over here, but yeah, I can't betray my Tims, but no, I definitely had a donut or 2.
Enjoy the rest of the way.
Thank you.
I think we can volunteer to put that into our pregame routine.
Sure, I can do a donut.
Yeah, before every Canadian game. There's Cheryl Pounder, there's Frankie Corrado, there's Jeff O'Neill. What a wild 20 minutes. Every reason we love this tournament and every reason it takes years off your life sometimes. Canada robbed, should have had a penalty shot at the end. Czechs look good, Canadians look good, especially that Hage line.
Oh my God. Last year, I waited the whole tournament for a skills cycle play, and I never got it. The Canadians always seemed to lose the puck or couldn't get a shot on net, and this was a fantastic Canadian-style goal. Michael Hage carries the puck over the blue line. He gets it to Gavin McKenna. He kind of acts like he's going into the corner and spins with that no-look pass, and Martin puts it into the net. This is the separator for McKenna. He looks like he's going away from the play, almost in Gretzky-like fashion, and everybody stares at him saying, "Where are you going?" And he makes that spin-around pass. That was a heck of a goal.
That pass for Gavin McKenna, if he makes it on the backhand, there's a really good chance that's getting picked off. Instead, he makes it on the forehand. He turns a low percentage play into a high percentage play into a goal.
And it's a diagonal 2v1 as well. When Hage actually hits McKenna coming through the middle of the ice, you have to love it, and the chemistry and the familiarity that they're showing alongside one another. They've got speed, they've got pace, and it's going to be Michael Hage who answers yet again. So all the way up the ice on an entry, you have to find ways to stay connected. You got to take a hit, and that's exactly what happens here. Now all of a sudden the second quick end uses the weak side of the ice, and that's the defender in Danford jumping in. The kick and the drive. So what does the coverage do? It slides, and look at this flash screen. You hold, you hold, you hold, you wait for the shot, and you take away the eyes of the goaltender. I absolutely love this play. Not only a screen, but a flash screen. But when you have those kind of entries and you drive play because of your pace, you actually push the coverage back. And in doing that, you open up that high ice. And that's something that we talked about with this Martin line in particular, and they were able to get it done. Great shot.
Frank, you said before the game, crucial to get off to a good start. If it wasn't for Carter George, they might have been down 2-0 5 minutes in.
It was a little nervy. It was a little jumpy for just about everyone except for Carter George, and that's good news for Team Canada because he was there to make some crucial saves early on, point blank. Turnover behind the net, and there's Carter George. Massive save early in the game. Then a breakaway. Point blank, Carter George reads it the entire way. Canada had a little bit of trouble getting out of their own zone clean at times. They have to avoid these big breakdowns. But point blank, Carter George was able to make saves. The only way you can beat him, get a tip on a puck right in front of him. Carles loses his stick, you lose your coverage, but it feels like that's the only way you're going to be able to beat Carter George right now. If it's one-on-one shooter versus goalie, goalie's going to win that matchup.
One more note on Brady Martin. If you've watched us for a lot of years, we do these little skills segments, and we don't just make them up. The players pick something that they're good at. In the pregame, we showed you Brady Martin's, and he shows something he calls fake cutback net drive. So here's Brady doing the fake cutback net drive. Works pretty good in practice. And then we get to the game, and Brady Martin does the fake cutback net drive.
I absolutely love it. And listen, when you've been a coach, and I've been a coach in minor hockey, a lot of the time, the kids, they do not know how to apply the skill. Well, that is a perfect example of applying the skill in the game. Gotta love it.
I always thought for years, these guys are making up these drills. They really do them. I love it.
They do them.
Lots of work, though, for Canada to do. Dale Hunter had stressed puck management. Frankie showed you those turnovers they can't have in the second period. Inside the check room, down by 1, and lucky to not have a penalty shot that could have put them down by 2.
Every great play starts with an assist. Off the ice, an assist can change a life. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund helps kids lace up and play the game we love. Give your greatest assist at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
You're not down south anymore, Toto? Tell me everything.
Deal. Is that Canada? Yeah.
I love it. Incredible.
Imagine how good the TV's gonna look now.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Is it?
Is it? See you there.
Giuseppe believes in celebrating great teammates.
Hey guys, sticks in the middle.
That's why Giuseppe has teamed up with Canadian hockey legend Jerome McGinley to help take your game to the next level. Submit your child's hockey team for Giuseppe's Practice with a Pro contest to win some practice time with Jerome.
Nice shot.
The winning team will get this unforgettable practice experience at the 2026 Memorial Cup in Kelowna. Find out more at GiuseppePracticeWithAPro.com.
Bye, Andy PD. How much was the tip that came in? 300 grand. Staring over 20 mil. The longer we stick around here, the dicier it's gonna be. This is my crime scene. I will run it the way I see fit. Tell me what's going on. It'd be so much easier if we just stole this money. What did you say?
Staples can help you crush your holiday to-do list. Boxing Day deals locked in. To-do list knocked out. Saving on everything holiday? That was easy.
Grit. Sure, it's mud and rocks and sweat and all that. Always will be. But grit is also an idea. An idea that changes the way we see and the way we do things. With an available iForce Max hybrid powertrain, Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Hi, I'm Michael Hage. I play at the University of Michigan, and this is shooting on the diagonal. The drill I'm doing here is replicating catching a drop pass in a game, and my first touch being to the middle, skating on an angle and trying to freeze the goalie and holding the puck off my hip. And as I see that goalie freeze, shoot it right off my hip and try to shoot it to that far side. I think doing a drill like this helps my game, just trying to get reps at situations I feel like I'll be in game situation, and once that time comes that you get that rep, I feel really confident in my shot and just releasing it off my hip. And for me, just being opportunistic is the biggest thing. I think it's really important to continue to practice drills like this. Practicing it just helps me feel confident once I get those touches in dangerous areas in the game.
If you were out enjoying your Boxing Day, here's what happened in the first 3 games. Sweden, Slovakia, under 5 to go in the third. Ivar Stenberg in the running with McKenna to go first overall next year, takes the pass in front and scores a beauty. And that would be the difference. Sweden gets a scare but wins it 3-2 the final. Denmark, Finland, Finns in control in this one the whole way, up 3-1 in the second. And it's Atos Koivu, son of Saku, who's a terrific player, scores. Finland takes it 6-2 the final. Germany, USA. 3-2 Americans in the second. Will Zellers in front. First of the tournament. Germany hung around in this one for the longest time, but after Germany got one back here, it's Zellers again. Aisle 2. Second of the game. Americans take it 6-3 the final. They're looking for their third straight World Junior gold. 4 more games tomorrow. It begins with Slovakia, Germany. No, Latvia versus Canada. Quick turnaround for this one. 4 o'clock Eastern time. 4:30 Eastern for the drop of the puck. U.S., Switzerland, Denmark, Czechia to wrap things up. Our in-depth numbers provided by our friends at Sport Logic. Big advantage for Canada. Look at the last one. Slot driving plays 25-5. The controlled entries 24-14. But the only number that matters, just a 1-goal lead for Canada, 2-1. As we head towards the second, Gord Miller, Mike Johnson in the call. Right after this, from the World Juniors on TSN.
Crisp winter night by a couch twice their size, gathered a family who saw things with childlike eyes. What was this festive feel? Why, the Tim's holiday meal. There were lattes and donuts topped off with Biscoff, flatbread pizzas with festive fun socks. Let's light up the tree, we heard them cheer. Well, they laughed. A small blunder, my dear. So if you too want that magical feel, feed your inner child with the Tim's holiday meal.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
Paramount Plus is giving you the greatest gift of all. Big stars in big blockbusters. Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Roofman, and Materialists.
Stream Paramount Plus for $7.99 a month.
I tried everything to lose weight.
Diet and exercise help.
But for me, it just wasn't enough.
At Felix, we know your biology can also play a role, so we can treat weight loss with this in mind. Pair your healthy lifestyle with a little extra help from Felix.
Unleash your inner lion at Leo Vegas.
Give yourself the gift of sleep this holiday season.
Hurry in and shop unbeatable deals with 25% off almost everything. Our extended Boxing Week is on now at Sleep Country.
Remember, if you don't snooze, you lose.
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back.
Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July?
I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit Wegovy. The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply. Some exclusions may apply.
Brady Martin and Michael Hayes both had a goal and an assist in that period, and Canada retakes the lead 37 seconds after the Czechs had tied it. Shots were even at 11. 2-1 Canada leads after the opening 20 minutes. Gord Miller back with Mike Johnson. You heard James Duthie mention a moment ago the stats from Sport Logic. The slot driving plays were 25-5 for Canada in the first period.
So much to like offensively about how Canada played in that first period. You mentioned the slot driving plays, the possession, the determination to get in and around the net, all the good work to get there. And it was a good period with 2 goals, but it could have been a great period because a lot of these chances that they worked hard to create, they didn't quite finish off, whether it was a pass that was deflected or a shot that was missed the net or a bobble on the reception, whatever it was close to being even better than the excellent period that it already turned out to be. So if you're Canada, do the exact same thing when you have the puck and trust that the high-end offensive talent that Michael Misa and others have will turn those near chances into good chances and goals.
And that furious scramble at the end of the first period, and again, closing your hand on the puck in the crease is not subject to review or a coach's challenge. Jet Luchenko plays down for Cole Baudouin. That's broken up by Jakub Figueroa. Figueroa up to center ice for Chihash, but racing back with Luchenko to knock that away. To the line, but not out. Sikora. Moving on, Brunik. Sikora centers it. Puck bounces back. Figueroa shoots. George makes the save. A late point there from Czechia's Nestrashil. But Carter George has it.
I heard Frankie talk about some of the turnovers by Canada in their own end in the first period that resulted in quick strike chances here. So puck is turned over. Figueroa throws it on net, and it was Nestrashil who had been all alone in front before Carlos got back there to him. But the whole thing started by a Luchenko non-clear that didn't get over the blue line. And this game is about Canada driving play versus Czechia quick strike counterattacks. And Czechia proven to be pretty efficient at that.
Czechs have 12 drafted players, including 3 first-rounders. That does include Radim Mrkika, who is currently with the team but not on the roster. They're hoping he can come back and play later in the tournament. He's fighting off an injury. Jumping up is Parak. Zane Parak feeds that down to McGinley. And TJ Ginla. Bouncing puck was knocked away by Curran. And up comes Max Curran. Try to flip that around Cameron Reed. Curran with it. Back to the point he goes to Pesanushka. Looking back down to Curran. Parak swept that away. Misa waiting for it. He's got Martone streaking ahead. And instead goes back to Reed. Reed in across the line. Pivots. Feeds that down to Ginla. Back across Martone with a great chance. Turned away by Orshilak. Great look for the Canadian captain, Porter Martone, who began the year with Philadelphia, the youngest player ever to play for the Flyers. Benak. Bouncing puck. George hangs on to that. With Hope looking for a loose puck.
Tremendous chance for Porter Martone. A really good passing play. Cameron Reed joins the rush. Little spin around, but Ginla knows Martone is backdoor, but it's a bit too slow of a pass and too long of a distance, so Orshilak's able to get the hard push all the way to the post, and there wasn't a lot for Martone to shoot at.
And a Hage for the face-off in the defensive zone for Canada. Against Stepan Hook, the rarest of all things, a Czech who plays in Czechia. Klima with a shot that's blocked. Klima. Martin in hard. And now Klima picks it free. Being watched by Aitchison. Throws that through the crease. That's kicked away by George. Here's Martin back on it. And Brady Martin. Up ahead to Aitchison. For Hage to McKenna. Back for Hage. Pivots it across the blue line. Looking for McKenna. That pass was picked off by Novotny.
That's Klima again. On Hage again. Twice in the same shift. Got Martin, then got Hage.
George on it. Back around to Danford. Hage to O'Reilly. In comes O'Reilly with McKenna. Rink wide pass. Drop back to Aitchison. Shoots. That goes off a leg and wide. Kept alive by Danford. Now picked off. And Zemlichka. Trying to find Novotny, but hurrying back on that was McKenna. Zemlichka loose behind the Canadian goal, being watched by Danford. Now Fibbiger. That shot was blocked by O'Reilly in front. Bank back. Jiricek, a long shot. That deflected wide. That went off a teammate Kubiesa in front. And a race for O'Reilly moving in on Fibbiger. And Fibbiger has a rear-view mirror full of O'Reilly. As Braden Coots had that skip by him. Got it down by Brunik. And Kubiesa can't hold the line for the Czechs. Fibbiger. Thanks for Brampton in the OHL. Easy to say which Czechs don't play in the CHL. There are 16 of them on CHL rosters this year as Brunik got bumped there.
So both teams coming out being super physical to start the second period of a faceoff. Martin gets tangled up and knocked over by Klima. And he's around the net, and it's Klima again. That's a good hard hit. A lot of body there. Tuck your hands in. That's how you end up hurting your wrist. You can ask Zach Hyman about that. And seeing your son drift over the board would be pretty stressful. There's Terry and Cheryl.
Yeah, that's Terry on the left, I'm Cheryl on the right.
They know their son's tough, though, and he's not going anywhere in this game.
This was Sault Ste. Marie in the Ontario League. Nashville 5th overall pick in the last NHL draft. Now, Seeker a long shot. George makes the save, and again, there's no rebound. Brady Martin, the 18-year-old from Elmira, Ontario. And we mentioned he began the year with Nashville, played 3 games for them.
We're hopeful to see him play in Toronto. They scratched him that game, part of their plan, which I'm sure the Martin family wasn't too pleased with.
Right before they sent him back to junior.
But he has merged as one of those glue guys in the dressing room. You can tell already guys gravitating towards his personality on Team Canada.
Baudouin for the face-off, gets a warning. He steps in against Segura. Now the Czechs are getting a warning from the...
Trying to pull the puck for a shooter. Cam Reed's got to jump, and so does Jet Luchenko. 2 guys got to jump to the shooter.
And it's hammered wide on that face-off play by Nestrashil. Brought back by Luchenko. Jet Luchenko. Pass goes off the leg of Pesanichka. Here's Baudouin on it. Now Barek has to retreat with Seeker appearing in for the Czechs. Looks down at Chihas. And Reed bumps into him. Reshny. Plays it back around to Reed. Bouncing puck in front. And that shot taken by Mon goes high. A penalty coming to Canada. Back of the line is Galvez. The extra skater comes on. Mon with a shot. That was blocked. And here is Curran with it. Back across to Mon. And that goes off the leg of Pesanichka. Here's Baudouin on it. Now Barek has to retreat with Seeker appearing in for the Czechs. Looks down at Chihas. And Reed bumps into him. Reshny. Plays it back around to Reed. Bouncing puck in front. And that shot taken by Mon goes high. A penalty coming to Canada. Back of the line is Galvez. The extra skater comes on. Mon with a shot. That was blocked. And here is Curran with it. Back across to Mon. And that's it. In the third round in 2023 in Halifax it started as Iginla winds it and shoots. Loose puck in front that skipped away from Martone. Misa back with us. Aitchison step hard into Benak. Danford leads the rush. Drops it back to Martone. Porter Martone puts it back down to Danford. The centering pass was knocked away by Jiricek. Misa got clipped in the face there. He's slow to get to his feet.
Canada's looking for a penalty on Czechia somewhere.
Novotny winds in with a step and shoots. George makes the stop and quickly hangs on.
And this is going to start happening a bit more as this game continues to heat up. And here's one more look at the goal. As Chihash with a really nice tip. After Cole Reshny's coming over to play Benak on the boards, that's the sweet vision of Benak as well. A prolific scorer from Brantford. It's just not getting bodies down to where you need to get them, which is the front of the net if you're Canada in your own end.
Balkan for the face-off against Hage. And Michael Hage swats at that. Here's Yuri Klima. Plays it back to Mon with a shot that goes wide. to go off his skate at the line. Here's a chance now for McKenna. And Hook knocked that away. Now a penalty coming as Hage was brought down. And we've got a hooking call against the Czechs, sending Canada to an early power play here in the second period. And Matthias Mann will go off. Went to the wrong penalty box.
Czechia number 8, minor penalty hooking.
It looked for a moment like Gavin McKenna might be sprung loose on a puck that was blocked and turned over at the blue line. And good pull there, but a can opener into the hands of the speedy Michael Hage by Mann puts Canada to the power play. And amazingly, with all this talent, the power play has not been smooth sailing for Canada against Sweden anyways. Against Denmark, they scored some goals in the pre-comp game, but not against Sweden. It was not so easy.
0 for 1 so far tonight. Did not have a shot in their first power play in the first period. Reshny wins the face-off back to McKenna. Gavin McKenna sets it up. Rink wide he goes. Hage for Reshny, bouncing puck loose in front. That was knocked away for the moment by Chihas. Kept alive by McKenna. Back for Parak. Across to Hage. Hage slides that down to Martin. Works it and shoots. That goes high. And McKenna chops that back to Parak. Set back down the ice by Sikora. Here's George on it. Chihas watching him. Leaves it back for Parak. Same Parak. Cut by Canada in training camp last year. As Martin works in. Now McKenna after it. Jiricek plays that back around, waiting for his Hage. Kicks that to Reshny. Played back down the ice by Politin. And again, George has to be careful to play that around for Parak. Inside a minute to go on the power play. Long lead pass tipped in by Iginla from Parak. Kosanichka along the boards. Misa knocked that down. Brunik finds Martone. Border Martone tees it up and shoots. That was blocked. Martone gets it right back. Drops it off to Iginla. Has a look and fires. Glove save made by Orshalac.
Minute and a half gone. First unit didn't get much done in the offensive zone. TJ Iginla, Martone come out in the second unit. They have some pretty good chemistries from previous Team Canada experiences together. These are all guys used to having their power play run through them. And trying to make the adjustment to find a role has been a work in progress. Lachenko out there largely to win a face-off and maintain possession.
And Hook appears to be the man to take the big draws for the Czechs. Can't win the draw with your hand. The rule that Canada did not. Brunik plays it back across to Misa. Down to Iginla. TJ Iginla for Misa. Misa shoots. That's tipped wide. Martone back on it. Back around to Iginla. 15 seconds to go in the power play. Feeds it back to Brunik. Brunik in the corner for Misa. And Misa drops it off to Brunik. Slides that down to Lachenko. Iginla loose in front. Martone on it. Penalized players back on the ice. Martone back across to Brunik. Centers a tipped on goal by Iginla. That was blocked. Hook back with it. One shot for Canada on that power play. And Hook plays it back down to the Canadian zone as Brunik goes back and icing waved off. Harrison Brunik, Calgary native, a Pittsburgh second-round pick. Actually born in South Africa. As he moves it ahead to O'Reilly. This season became the first South African-born player to score a goal in the NHL. Well, it was either him or Ole Coles. Again, Ole was a goaltender, so. Inside 12 to go in the second. Galvas brings it back out. Galvas shoots from that way wide. Dravetsky wide as well as Galvas jumps up for it. Galvas tied up. Back in the corner is Nestrashiv. That shot hammered wide by Chihas. Moved back down the ice and picked up by Dravetsky. For Galvas. And now Drevetsky back for it. Things kind of settling in here in the second period now after a frenetic first.
Czechia likes how this game is playing out right now. More in the offensive zone for them. Lots of attempts towards the net.
Liam Greentree. Chip that to Reshny. Now Greentree goes rink wide to Aitchison. Sean Aitchison plays it back down. And Greentree with it in the corner. Greentree. Look back to Reshny. Now get it back up by Baudouin. Baudouin. Back in for Greentree. Goes back around to Pesanichka. That pass got by everyone. Rolls by Perek. And it hits the pad of George. So
he wanted to get it by the post, but to no avail.
Perek snaps that pass ahead to Baudouin. Plays it back down to the Czech zone. Warshilak is out to play it. Here's Reed at center ice. Back across to Perek. And Perek flips that in, looking for McKenna on the forecheck. McKenna chips that back easy for Hage. And now Hage. Looks back down to Martin. Martin pivots back. Got the play alive for McKenna. Back to Perek. Long shot floats wide. Reed jumps up. Flips it back ahead to Martin. Bat it back around for Hage. Here's Perek holding the line. Looks down to McKenna. Long time in the offensive zone here. McKenna back down to Martin. Martin feeds across to Perek. Perek back across to Martin. He missed him a one-timer. Here's Martin back with it. Loose at the side of the goal. Brady Martin flips it back in front just on the reach of McKenna.
Sometimes when Martin gets on the outside with this line, there's nobody in front of the net because Hage and McKenna want to work the outside. That's where Brady Martin has to get to complement his line mates.
Now McKenna up ahead to Martin. Martin winds back in, drops from McKenna, back for Martin, and that pass out of his reach. Martin back to Perek. Now Martin hammers it back in. He needs off. Hage stays on. Spins and shoots. It goes off the foot of Juracek. Bounces high in the slot. Still loose by Martone. And back to center ice to Karls. Pittelbach moves back in for the Czechs. Feeds it back in front. Zemlichka hammered that wide. Zemlichka plays it back down to Tittelbach. And Juracek a long drive at the outside of the post. Waiting for it is Iginla. Moves ahead with Martone. TJ Iginla jumping in. Iginla shoots. And the save is made by Orshilak. Lots of good chances here in the second period. Brady Martin with the latest. Can't quite corral that pass. And every moment a nail biter here in Minneapolis.
No one wants to wait. Wouldn't life be great if you could just take that bucket list trip today? Upsize for your retirement sooner than later. Or start something totally new on your own timeline. Life goals, financial goals. Invest with Fidelity, and reaching them may just take less time than you think.
We present to you some of the biggest stars and biggest dramas on Paramount Plus, like Tom Hardy in Mobland, Michael C. Hall in Dexter Resurrection, and Billy Bob in Landman. Stream Paramount Plus.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
For NFL action coming your way tomorrow as the Texans go up against the Chargers. Houston can still make the playoffs. That's at 4 Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific time, followed by the Ravens and the Packers. The Ravens can still catch. That's coming your way at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. All the action on TSN and CTV. Minnesota Vikings knocked out the Detroit Lions here yesterday.
Team USA was there watching the game together.
Here's Baudouin with it. Oh, Baudouin shakes off Seeker, who scored against Canada in last year's game in the quarterfinal. Reshny knocks it down. Luchenko banks that back to Reed. Back to Luchenko. And Jet Luchenko feeds that down to Reshny. There's Luchenko back with it. Another long time in the offensive zone for Canada. Finally picked free by Nestrashil. Nestrashil was drafted by Chicago in the first round, a pick they got from Toronto in the Jake McCabe deal. Now Chia sends it across, they score! And it's Sikora who strikes to give the Czechs their first lead of the game.
Sikora jumps on a defensive zone breakdown by Canada. Clear that doesn't get out, puck gets back behind the net, and then Nestrashil wins body position, and everyone on Canada is running routes, assuming that they're going to get the puck, and that leaves the slot open. Little touch from Chihas over to Sikora, and Sikora slams it home. Not a lot of chance for Carter George. One-timer from 20 feet away. And
4 goals in 7 games in last year's tournament.
It's been a pain in the butt for Canada. Sikora.
Yeah, scored the opening goal in the quarterfinal game last year. The Czechs took a
he was the one who took the hit on his knee and then really sold that he was injured, came back and scored. Played it up to the crowd, was getting booed mercilessly. And has the go-ahead goal for Czechia in a period where they've been the better team. The second period, just 2 shots on net for Canada so far in the second period.
The shots are 7-2 Czechs. They've scored twice. And Canada trails for the first time. Braden Coots. Denoyer. That lead pass is knocked to center ice to O'Reilly. In comes Sam O'Reilly. Takes it back down to Coots. And brought back out by Galvis. That lead pass out of the reach of Benak. And here's Benak. Looking for O'Reilly, who had that first period breakaway. Chips it ahead for Denoyer. Works in, Denoyer with a chance. Rolled off his stick and knocked away by Politin. At the line, helped by Danford. O'Reilly is shot it up through the traffic. Rebound. Denoyer turned away as well. And O'Reilly trying to dig that free. Page in there as well.
There's no respect. Oh, give me the puck. I'll take the foot off to try to get it. We're not respecting anyone down there.
Politin off the glass and back down the ice. Aitchison goes back, and icing called against the Czechs.
And this is one of the areas where Canada has to continue to improve. When everyone starts looking for pucks, assuming they're going to go offensively, and they lose track of their men and their positions defensively if it doesn't work out the way that Canada thinks it will. And that one goes right to Chihas, puts it right into the wheelhouse for Sikora. And just like that, Czechia's got the lead.
He'll turn 20 on January 2nd, one of the oldest players in the tournament. The tournament open to players born in 2006 or later. Next year's tournament in Edmondson and Red Deer. Page looks back down. Juracek plays it back across to Fibbiger. Page moves it back in. Page, Martin, McKenna back out there for Canada with 6 to go in the second period. Fibbiger being harassed there by McKenna. McKenna works that free, pokes it back across. And Hage was brought down. Now McKenna looks ahead for Hage, who got back onside. Hage tried to center that. And Juracek being bumped there by McKenna. They pass at the referee in the skate. And move ahead to Novotny. Adam Novotny back across for Hawk. A centering pass, and George knocked that away. Brady Martin back in to Cameron Reed. In for Hage. Hage throws up, shoots, it goes off a stick and wide. Reed back on it, drops it back for Martin. That pass missed him. Novotny's back the other way. Hage is exhausted. Novotny works in, and Novotny gets a shot away as George steered down the side. Hage, I'm on and back down the ice. An icing call against Canada. 5:05 to go in the second.
And Michael Hage, as you mentioned 20 seconds ago, is exhausted. Still exhausted, still on the ice. And he's going to be the one who'd have to take this face-off, and he is struggling he might have to send somebody else in there. TJ Ginla going to take it because he is not up to it physically. That's good recognition by Ginla.
It's Secret to take the draw for the Czechs, and now Ginla gets a warning. Scramble draw won by Ginla. They got to get Hage off the ice. And away comes Ginla. And Hage goes to the Canadian bench as Martone works in. Drops that in a high slot. That's picked up by Nestrashiv. Nestrashiv for Seekrup. Moves it back at Chias. Shoots, and George makes a terrific stop. George down. The puck loose behind the goal. And Amon kept it alive as Martone was trying to streak ahead. But a close chance there for the Czechs. Out to Misa. Misa off of Ginla, back into the Czech zone. Ginla, the first man there. TJ Ginla shovels it back in front. Misa just missed on that. Aitchison plays it back down to Ginla. Misa back on it. Feeds that across to Brunik. Has a look and shoots. That's blocked this time by Chias and sent back out.
Game for Chias. He's been all around it.
Carson Karls. Draft eligible defenseman for Canada. Looks ahead. That's knocked down. And Brunik back with it. Brunik up to center. Misa. Chips that for Denoyer. That was knocked away. Denoyer stays on it. And now Brunik has it at center ice for Canada. 3:45 to go in the second period. Move back around. Tittlebach winds back out. Up ahead for Kubiesa. And the puck goes into the glove of Carter George, and he hangs on. 3:35 to go here in the second period. Czechs have a 3-2 lead on Canada, and lots of enthusiasm.
Together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Where the next generation of stars become legends and lifelong dreams turn to gold. It's the annual tournament that defines Canadian pride. The 2027 World Junior Championship is coming to Edmonton and Red Deer. Don't miss your chance to celebrate a holiday hockey tradition you'll never forget. Ticket packages won't last long. Your best shot at seeing Team Canada at home is to sign up for the priority draw. Don't wait. The draw closes January 6th. Sign up free at hockeycanada.ca.
Carter George doing his best to keep this just a one-goal game, as Czechia has done a really good job off the rush. Good passing. Sikora finds Chias again, but Carter George aggressive, sliding under control, keeping that blocker nice and high, turning aside. Chias has already got
that back up, and racing back is Parak. Lead pass by Baudouin. Up for Reed to O'Reilly. Sam O'Reilly slides that down to Reed in deep, plays it back to Parak, walking in. Zane Parak with a shot that deflects wide. Baudouin back on it. Oh, Baudouin drops it back to Reed for Parak, moves it and shoots, scores! Zane Parak ties the game with 2:58 to go in the second. What a snipe!
And that's how you score 30 goals in a junior season, with a shot like that. Zane Parak, who's wandering all over the offense zone, Cameron Reed as well, takes this bouncing puck. Reed sort of mishandles it back to him. Drag, pull, boom. And it's Galvis who is in front of Orsulak, but it's the speed of the release and the quality of contact. That is tidy over the glove of Orsulak. Zane Parak, one of the best offensive defensemen in the CHL of the last 30 years. ties it up for Canada.
Back-to-back 30-goal years in the OHL as a defenseman. Only 2 players have ever done it, Parekh and Bobby Orr.
It's good company.
Ethan McKenzie bangs it back down. Now McKenna on it. And this line goes back to work. McKenna centers and missed Martin with that pass. Danford plays it back in. Klima slides out ahead to Hook. Looking for Novotny. Adam Novotny out of the corner. Sharp angle shot. That's knocked away by George. And now McKenna back the other way. Neat flip across to Hage. In with Martin. Michael Hage trying to bank that back. Picked off by Novotny. And Unacek plays it back to center ice. McKenzie fires it back in. And racing back is Fibbiger. For Juracek. Up ahead to Yuri Klima. And that was knocked down by Martone. And Martone holds the line, feeds it back in deep. Here's Misa on it. Michael Misa. Looking in for a Ginla. Now Martone loose behind the goal. Sends it back in front for Misa. Loose puck. Misa's got it back. Misa for Carl's long wrist shot that was blocked in front. That might have been Juracek again with the block.
Double digits at this point in the game.
Here is Carl. Lays it down to Ginla. Around to Misa. Minute and a half to go here in the second period. Brunek walks the line. Long wrist shot, but just wide off the end boards and bounces back to Ginla. And Ginla trying to scoop it there. There's Ginla back with it. Feeds that down to Martone. And Martone. Long wrist shot. Again, Juracek got in the way. Brunek moves up for Canada. And Juracek to the line again, not out, but played with a high stick. And play call with 1:01 to go here in the second period. Zane Parekh from Nobleton, Ontario has Canada even at 3.
Exceptional. That's not a word Canadians throw around lightly. It's a distinction that's earned. And you'll know it when you feel it. North Star Bets. Exceptionally Canadian.
This holiday season, Uber Eats is stacking up the savings. Get 30% off your gifts from Shoppers Drug Mart. Save on electronics, beauty, and more. Save 30% on holiday gifts from Shoppers Drug Mart delivered right to your door with Uber Eats.
Well, Zane Parekh began the year in the NHL with the Calgary Flames. Drafted by them in the first round, 9th overall in 2024. Scored his first NHL game last year against the LA Kings. And his family here looking on. Of course, last year he wasn't initially invited to the Canadian camp, then was when they got some injuries and was cut anyway.
And this is probably the last time families get to experience, not at all on a minor hockey level, but minor hockey tournament.
Right.
And after this, it's pro time, and it's a different dynamic altogether.
With a different tournament at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The Royal Cup champion in 2024 was Saginaw. Now O'Reilly back to Parekh. Goes that towards the goal. And Nestrashil moves out ahead. Sikora in across the line. Fan on the shot. Now the captain gathers it back up for Mon. Chihas feeds it back to Mon. Losing the sign of the goal for a moment. Baudouin knocks that down to Parekh, who flips it back up to center ice. Mon knocks it down. Moving back is Reed. Around to Desnoyers. Kept alive. Galvas. Pass in behind Sikora. And at the horn Carter George knocked that away, and Canada and Czechia will go to the dressing room even at 3 after 40 minutes. It's day one of the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up. Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Where are my numbers go? If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
Auto Trader has the most cars.
I knew they had a lot of cars, but I didn't know they had the most cars.
I'm literally on every night because you never know when a deal can just like pop up.
Everything is there. You'll always find what you're looking for with Auto Trader. The answer is Auto Trader.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
With Pluto TV, this is what free looks like.
Look at that!
No risk. Big reward.
Impressive.
No catch. Get a taste of free.
Beautiful.
Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
Wayfair's Boxing Week clearance is here. End your year with huge deals on furniture and decor, like up to 70% off area rugs, up to 40% off kitchen and dining, and up to 50% off bedroom furniture. And get it all with fast and free shipping through Boxing Day. Yep, even the big stuff. These end-of-season deals are too good to miss, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Boxing Week clearance now through January 1st at wayfair.ca.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
This EU team is spectacular.
Players here are overrated. We are not scared of them.
Hear that, Jersey?
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment and stream hit series. Plus, Canadian Crave Originals. Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
Three after 2, a wildly entertaining, probably too entertaining for Dill Hunter and Company, opener for Canada. Nobleton, Ontario native Zane Perek with his first World Junior goal. He's with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Zane, a tournament well worth the wait. 40 minutes now of your first ever World Juniors. What's it like out there?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, this is what I've dreamed of for a while, so, you know, any chance you get to represent your country, it means a lot to me.
Well, you've scored in your first ever NHL game. Now you score in your first ever World Junior game. How do you let your goal scoring drive your play?
Yeah, I haven't really scored much this year, so it's kind of nice to find one. And, you know, I'm just putting pucks in the net and trying to create for my teammates. I mean, you know, there's not much to it, to be honest.
Well, we got to hear the Blue Jays home run song there, the goal horn. What do you think of it?
I love it. I love it. I watched the whole run with
Nobleton, Ontario native Zane Perek with his first World Junior goal. He's with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Zane, a tournament well worth the wait. 40 minutes now of your first ever World Juniors. What's it like out there?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, this is what I've dreamed of for a while, so, you know, any chance you get to represent your country for a while, so, you know, any chance you get to represent your country, it means a lot to me.
Well, you've scored in your first ever NHL game. Now you score in your first ever World Junior game. How do you let your goal scoring drive your play?
Yeah, I haven't really scored much this year, so it's kind of nice to find one. And, you know, I'm just putting pucks in the net and trying to create for my teammates. I mean, you know, there's not much to it, to be honest.
Well, we got to hear the Blue Jays home run song there, the goal horn. What do you think of it?
I love it. I love it. I watched the whole run with the boys in Calgary, so, you know, it's great.
Little piece of home.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
And Cameron Reed just to the backhand and lets him have it, but when he walks it in, I mean, he's shrinking that zone. He knows exactly where he is on the ice. For everyone watching out there, watch him off the puck and how he'll extend the zone depending on where the puck is, so make it bigger, and then he'll shrink it. And that was an example of coming in with great timing, shrinking the zone, and that quick release shot just changing the angle.
That goal happened right below us, and I heard it. That was a big-time shot. That was an NHL release, NHL goal.
So, this is not a blip anymore. Like, this is 4 years of Czechia giving Canada fits. And I know on paper it doesn't make sense. 18 first-rounders for Canada, 3 for Czechia. I know paper is not everything, but Frankie, explain how they keep doing this.
So we get this binder, and it has all kinds of information. And one of the things that it should say is that the Czechs are a good team, and they are aggressive. They are not like some of these other teams that are maybe going to look at a team like Canada and say, we're going to sit back, we're going to wait for opportunities. The Czechs are giddy up and go, and right now Canada is having a hard time with the forecheck that the Czechs are providing. So this is leading into the 2-2 goal. Starts with the forecheck, leads to Canada eventually taking a penalty, and then the delayed penalty, you get an extra attacker on the ice, and this is one thing Canada has struggled with a little bit in this game. Now, I get you have an extra player on the ice, but there's been a few too many times where there's been a lack of coverage in front of the net, and another goal where you don't necessarily beat Carter George with a shot, but it's a pass to the back door, so shooting for a stick, and a lot of it starts with the forecheck. The aggressiveness of the Czechs has been hard to handle for Canada.
And they put pressure on Cameron.
Stick, and a lot of it starts with the forecheck. The aggressiveness of the Czechs.
To go.
Every great play starts with an assist. Off the ice, an assist can change a life. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund helps kids lace up and play the game we love. Give your greatest assist at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
We are made in Canada. Homegrown, Canadian-owned and operated. We're neighbors. Friends. Family. We're more than just made in Canada. We're a fabric of Canada.
Give yourself the gift of sleep this holiday season.
Hurry in and shop unbeatable deals with 25% off almost everything. Our extended
confidence, more space.
Zootopia 2 was a hilarious feel-good family adventure and just as fun as the original.
You two tore apart the city.
Could you show me that clip again? Wasn't wearing my glasses. Disney's Zootopia 2. Now playing only in theaters.
Hi, my name is Caleb Denoy. I play for the Moncton Wildcats, and this is the drop pass one-timer. The drill is walking in the zone, have a little bit of deception, dropping the pass back to the guy getting the second wave behind me, then opening my hips and shoot a one-timer. It has a big factor, always walking with my head up and having some deception in the O zone. It's always to be ready to shoot and ready to hammer the puck in the net. Practice makes perfect, and for drills like that, stuff that need to practice, it's little details, and it's going to help you to have an impact on the game.
The other great international tournament on right now, the Spengler. Canada taking on the U.S. Collegiate Select. Second period still scoreless. James Reimer in goal for Canada. Terrific toe save on the power play. And then it goes the other way. Nate Schnarr, who played for O-Dogs Guelph Storm way back, puts the Canadians out in front. And then 2-0. Mason Shaw, former Minnesota Wild, picks the loose puck up, fires in, and Canada wins 3-2 the final. Reimer, as you can see there, with 28 saves. Canada's next action against HC Davos on Sunday, 2 o'clock Eastern. But there's Spengler Cup action every day on TSN. Let's update the Sportlogic numbers. Again, Canada continues to be dominant. 12 off the rush chances, 13 high danger chances to only 13 for Czechia, to which Czechia says, who cares? We are even at 3. This is what they do. This is what they've done 4 years running, is give Canada absolute fits. And we're off to the third. Pressure mounting.
Crisp winter night by a couch twice their size, gathered a family who saw things with childlike eyes. What was this festive feel? Why, the Tim's holiday meal. There were lattes and donuts topped off with Biscoff, flatbread pizzas with festive fun socks. Let's light up the tree, we heard them cheer. Well, they laughed. A small blunder, my dear. So if you too want that magical feel, feed your inner child with the Tim's holiday meal.
Critics are raving about Avatar Fire and Ash, the #1 movie in the world.
Come on, let's go.
Truly epic cinema. Avatar Fire and Ash, now playing.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Call now and only pay the shipping and handling and processing and importing and exporting and...
Get a no monthly fee checking account with no minimum balance. Tangerine. That's forward banking.
25 years ago, we had an idea. What if the future of driving was electrified? And what if we led the charge towards that future? Today, that idea has grown into a diversified lineup of electrified vehicles. Believing in your own path. It matters to you. It matters to us.
Eyes up here.
Canada's own Crave is soaring to new heights. We've added over 10,000 new hours of amazing content, including the biggest live events, select live sports, news, and all at the same price. Bigger, better, Crave, endlessly entertaining.
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back. Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July? I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Czechs had the edge in play in that second period. Outshot Canada 11-6, and the goals by Chihas and Sikaras take them to a 3-2 lead. But then late, Zane Perek gets his first of the World Junior, and it's a 3-3 tie heading for the third period. Gord Miller back with Mike Johnson. We've talked about the bloodlines of some of the players in this tournament. T.J. Ginla, his dad Jerome, ruled through this tournament in 1996, and he's off to an impressive start.
T.J. Ginla with his best games to date, pre-competition or otherwise, against really tough competition in Czechia. And Ginla has been all around the front of the net and showing great strength and explosiveness with his skating to protect the puck, to generate rush chances, to find open ice, and to get good looks in on net. I have been really impressed how he's been able to shed checkers to get to the spots where he wants to go to create offense. He's been all over it. 3 shots on net, a whole bunch of misses, some creativity as well in behind. And if you're looking for someone who is playing well but not yet on the score sheet, T.J. Ginla would be a guy to look to as this game winds down.
In his 4th full year in the Western League, he's got 13 goals in 17 games for Kelowna. Remember, last year in December underwent hip surgery that ended his season. Still, though, the first ever draft pick of the Utah Mammoth, 6th overall in 2024. His younger brother Joe might be making a mark on his turn as well in coming years. For the young Edmonton Oil King. Teams begin the third period 5-on-5. Anyway, a centering pass, and Dennery gets it right back. That pass broken up. And back on it. Drops it off to O'Reilly. Sharp angle shot. And Orszalak quickly pounces on the rebound with Baudouin standing right there.
So T.J. Ginla, the very high pick to Utah, 6th overall. Of course, has lived in a few different places as Jerome wound down his career. And he just needs a run of health and get a little bit more consistency with that. And you can see how good he can be.
He won that face-off late in the second period. His dad is one of the best wingers on face-offs. He could step in and win a draw. Teemu Solani was like that. Brady Tkachuk now in Ottawa.
Johnston, sorry.
No.
You were saying?
Here is a good look. Centers it. That bounced away, and Politin back on it. Don't make me tell the story about the Anaheim game.
That's for a different kind of game.
What were you in that game?
0 for 11.
Thank you. Here's Martone on it. Corner Martone got knocked off stride, stays on it, loose at the side of the goal. Ginla trying to reach into that loose puck. And Politin has it knocked down by Misa. In for a Ginla. And the defenseman, Vesanichka, stepped into him. Ginla doing some heavy lifting down in the corner. Picked up by Curran. Max Curran high off the glass. That goes by Perek and back down. An icing called against the Czechs, who have tired players on the ice.
And that's a good shift. First couple shifts down in the offensive zone, working along the boards. And now you have Czechia with some tired defenders. You love to see guys with their hands on their knees before a defensive zone faceoff. And Znichka doing exactly that. If you win this, if you're Hage, there could be an opportunity for McKenna to roll across the top and maybe look for Aitchison on the back door. But you have to win the faceoff.
Hage in against Curran. And Hage gets the warning. Canada back in action tomorrow afternoon against Latvia. Czechs will play Denmark tomorrow night. And Hage lost his stick there. Pesanichka plays it around, but Aitchison holds the line for Canada. Back in the corner for Martin. Martin tries to pull that free. Benak couldn't clear it out. Martin throws that rink wide. Waiting for it is Hage. Hage centers it out of the reach of McKenna. And Gavin McKenna back on it. Flip back down, and this was
that is a world-class pivot by Ben Danford to make that one an icing.
Threw out the anchor.
Oh, he cut to the middle. He's busted on camera. He knows exactly what he did. Well done, Ben Danford, to give this line another chance. There's been another 20-second played. Same tired group in the defensive zone for Czechia.
And once again, Hage in for the faceoff, and now Curran's really tired.
Just shove it over the boards, Crosby style.
Curran takes a whack at that, but Hage knocked it down. In the corner for McKenna. And Gavin McKenna peels back. Dances in the corner. These exhausted Czechs now. Shot by McKenzie. That was blocked in front by Curran. Kept alive by Brunik at the line. Martin took a hard bump. And Benak plays that to center ice. That gets the left side off for the Czechs. And the lead pass goes to McKenna. Gavin McKenna winds in, has a look back across. That's knocked down by Brunik. In the corner is Martin. Brunik back on it. That's knocked down by Yuri Klima. Novotny pass out of his reach. Icing waved off as Novotny goes back after it. And McKenzie knocked that free. Reshny got spilled at center ice by Jiricek. A pile up at center. And two Canadians were in it. Tibiger goes in. He got crunched there by Luchenko. And bodies flying around here early in the third. That was knocked down by Parak. Reshny. The long shot by Jiricek goes off the helmet, or the hand rather, of Parak.
The penalty coming up, I think, though, to Czechia.
It's Jiricek going off.
Didn't know that as he almost banked in off Parak, which would not have counted.
Czechia number 5, minor penalty for roughing.
You can just feel the energy mount up, bodies crashing around. Players taking more and more liberties. And Jiricek here, little shot to the chin of Coots. There's the penalty. And that was after this car crash in the neutral zone. Jiricek, who will need some ice bags at the end of this game.
Jiricek in his third World Junior for the Czechs.
And so here's a power play that hasn't done much, hasn't looked good. A chance to score a huge goal for Canada.
Reshny in for the faceoff, and Dale Hunter made it clear that's why he's on the power play, to win the faceoff.
It's a lot of pressure, but if you're on there to win the faceoff, you got to win the faceoff.
It is not. Sikora wins it for the Czechs. McKenna, though, able to hold the line for Canada. His pass, though, was knocked down by Chihas and brought back up by Wojtek Chihas. Buys some time at center ice, plays it back across to Pesanichka. Working in short-handed. Pesanichka shoots. It goes off the stick of Parak and wide. Sikora plays it back around, and George out to play it. And the 0 for 2 one-shot so far in the power play. Parak. Back across to Reshny. Chops that down to Hage. Hage looks in for McKenna. Reshny. Now Curran had lost his stick. McKenna plays it back across. Knocked down by Parak. In comes Parak with a shot. Scores! Zane Parekh again, a power play goal, and Canada's got the lead.
This is what makes Zane Parekh special. We saw the tying goal, and we're going to see it on the go-ahead goal. The creativity to wander in the offensive zone, whether it's 5-on-5 or in this case on the power play. He just picks up this loose puck, slides, takes his time, then quick pull and release. Martin in front of the net, huge on the screen. But it's so fast to get into a shooting position, then off his stick with the flick of a wrist. He's barely flexing his stick. It's all blade and wrist. And right to the top corner. And then as the second time his family's gotten up to celebrate a Parekh goal. And that makes it 4-3 Canada. The power play comes through.
And Canada back on top. Up 1-0, 2-1. Trailed 3-2, and now up 4-3 here in the third period. And the importance of this game cannot be overstated, because what you want to do is avoid the Swedes and the Americans on the other side in the quarters. You want to be top two in all likelihood on this side of the draw. Martone works back in. Martone looks back in front.
There it is.
A wild whack at it. And finally, Orszalak squeezes that with a pile up in front of him. And it was Carson Carls, the defenseman, who was at the bottom of it.
Deactivating when it's appropriate. Watching Zane Parekh score, why not? And he had one more look at it. Broken play, gets up in the air. And it takes a bit of poise just to flag this, step around the defender and Politin, and then snap it up top. And Parekh always looks like he has a lot of time. He's never in a hurry. But it's just brilliant finish.
It's Gavin McKenna's family.
Watching Gavin pick up his second assist of the game.
Yes. And there's an icing call against the Czechs. But again, the importance of finishing high in Group B.
Right. There's going to be two incredible teams on the other side, Sweden and USA. If you come third, which is not out of the question for Czechia or Finland or Canada, depending how these three teams play against each other, that makes a very difficult potential quarterfinal matchup, which you're trying to avoid. You want to get through that quarterfinal day and make sure you're playing for a medal.
Of course, Canada's lost in the quarterfinals each of the last 2 years. Canada has not finished out of the medals in 3 straight years since the program of excellence began in 1982. That's when Canada began sending true national teams every year to the World Junior Championship. And Denoyer out to center ice. That's batted down, and now O'Reilly's going to get a penalty here.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's
Orszalak was on his way to the bench.
Orszalak had left for the Czech bench. Wow. Nestrashin. And that knocked away, and now Aitchison slams it up the center. Rice, Sikora. Bumped there by Denoyer. The tying goal for the Czechs. His second of the game. 4-4.
Back and forth they go. It's 1-on-5 in the offense zone by Galvis, and he buys enough time to create a seam to Sikora, and then it's a rebound backboards. What do we know about the backboards so far? They're lively. It's been evident in both games that Politin able to get a piece of the rebound for Carter George to get back across. Wins a battle against Danford. Danford on his stomach, and Politin puts it in the back of the net to tie it up. These two teams, nothing between them. And how about Galvis? It's a 1-on-5. he's working around. And not only does he buy time, he creates a seam pass that ends up on a rebound in the back of the net.
Followed it for a moment and pokes it back across to Parak. For Martin, and McKenna calling for it at center ice. In comes Gavin McKenna. Winds in, drops it back for Reed, jumping in. Benak has it back. Adam Benak. One of 4. Adams on this check team. Trying to center, that was knocked down by Martin, and McKenna has it back. McKenna looks it ahead to Hayes, who chops that back down. He picks it back up. Kravetsky. Lead pass to Klima. And Benak flips it back down to Canadian zone. A bouncing puck played by George. Up to McKenzie. He finds Misa. Misa in with Martone. Drops for Iginla. TJ Iginla shoots, scores! Score. Now he's done that too.
He was due. And what Michael Misa loves to do is get to the middle of the ice. He doesn't take a path down the boards. He takes it to the middle, draws attention, and then distributes wide. And just on side, I think Michael Misa, Iginla with the drag and pull, finally get one around Jurczyk above the pad, below the glove. And Iginla regains the lead. 5-4. I'm sure it's not for the last time in this game. Iginla pulling the trigger with authority.
A minute and 11 seconds after the checks had tied it up. Number 11 gives Canada the lead right back. McKenzie shoots it back in.
Don't touch it. Let him get it.
Vernick plays it back across. And the Czechs are hollering about that. Now brought back up by Tillbach. Chips it back down to the Canadian zone. McKenzie chips it back around. Kubiesa had that knocked away, and it bounces back to Pesanichka. Pesanichka plays it back around. And Rushers up for Braden Coots. Got squeezed there by Tillbach. And Kubiesa plays it back. Galvis swings back. Here's George out to play it again. Leaves it there for Keishon Aitchison. Estrashil, blue attire, trying to force the puck free, and Aitchison banks it back down to the check zone. O'Reilly for Baudouin. Aitchison had his stick knocked out of his hands. Quickly gets another. Estrashil back across to Galvis. Winds through center ice, now peels back, forced there by Desnoyers. Lead pass, and Chiaz had his pocket picked by Martin. Sikora back for Kravetsky, in shoots, and that's off the stick of Baudouin. Up and out of play. TJ Iginla from Lake Country, BC, has Canada back on top in Minneapolis.
To you some of the biggest stars and biggest dramas on Paramount Plus, like Tom Hardy in Mobland, Michael C. Hall in Dexter Resurrection, and Billy Bob in Landman.
Stream Paramount Plus.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up. Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Where are my numbers go? If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock only from TELUS.
TJ Ginla, the most recent goal scorer, the 5th Canadian goal. As teams have gone back and forth in this game. The drag wrister finished with authority. And it's important that first line with Misa has gotten on the board. Hage's line has scored as well. So the offensive guys getting it done.
Misa wins that face-off back. To Reed up the center ice. That's knocked down by Martone. In with Ginla and Misa. Martone. Took both his stick right out of his hands. And now Max Curran moves that back to center. And Breck knocked him off the puck. Ginla chips it back for Reed. Nashville first rounder. Up ahead to Misa. For Ginla. That pass was broken up by Benak. Benak lines back in. That pass is picked off by Parak. And Zane Parak looks ahead for Martone. With Ginla. Martone banks it back down. That's got it back up by Dravetsky. Now a centering pass, and Hage got his shot blocked in front. Runick back forward. Across he goes to McKenzie. And the twice undrafted Ethan McKenzie plays it. In all these first-round picks, McKenzie's got unpicked through 2 NHL drafts. Here he is. McKenzie walks in and shoots, scores! Ethan McKenzie, and Canada's up by 2.
And that'll get him a contract with somebody.
What a moment for Ethan McKenzie.
Kept telling himself he was deserving to be included with this group of high-end players. Hage digs it out. Maybe to nobody, but there's a lot of open ice on that weak side, and McKenzie walks, gets it past the shot blocker, and beats Orszalak clean by a lot. Orszalak nowhere near this puck. Maybe it rolls off the tip of the pad, but good pace for Ethan McKenzie to extend to a 2-goal lead.
Having a big year for the Edmonton Oil Kings in the Western League. 10 goals, 31 points in 30 games this year. We mentioned unpicked through 2 NHL drafts.
Oh, that smile's priceless. Great stuff.
He hasn't stopped smiling since he got the invite to the selection camp. Now another chance, and Coots was turned away in tight by Orszalak. So a little breathing room for Canada with a 6-4 lead. But lots of time left to play between 2 teams who seem incapable of playing a dull game. Juracek cues that wide. Move back in front, that's shipped down the ice by Danford.
Some really good players did not make this team so that Ethan McKenzie could be on it. And showing his value here. Hage with a little peek. That was an intentional pass. That's well done by Hage to spot an open ice player and turn it over. That's a lot of velocity. That had to be 80+ miles an hour on a wrister.
So Hage, a goal and 2 assists here tonight. Bouncing puck. Loose in front. Nestrashil was reaching for that. Here's Reshny on it. Back around to Aitchison. To Coots. This is day 1 of the World Junior Championship.
I'm tired watching this go back and forth.
Sweden had a white knuckle win over Slovakia earlier. The U.S. and Germany were close at one point. Finns beat Denmark earlier today. Nestrashil digs that free, and a hard shot there taken by Juracek, kicked out by George.
His head. Oh boy.
Here comes Baudouin with Desnoyers. Drop pass Desnoyers, spins in front, feeds it back across, and a great chance there for Parak jumping up. He's turned away. Zane Parak is all over it. Dances around Chias and throws that back in the corner. He thought his stick was slashed. Now Nestrashil at center ice was bumped there by Reed. Past the midway point of the 3rd period. Here's Parak with it. Up for Desnoyers. The lone Quebec League player in this drop on this Canadian roster. Trying to chip that ahead, and now Brunick knocks down that shoot in for O'Reilly, who plays for Dale Hunter with the London Knights, the defending Memorial Cup champions. Wasanichka feeds that back down. George out to play it. Brings it back around to O'Reilly. Benak Gets that back for Galvis winding in. Galvis stays on it, shoots, and hammered that wide. Gathered back up by Iginla. Quickly up with Misa. And Martone trailing. Misa pulls it back in front. That's swept away by Orsolak. Brunick back down to Misa. That pass in the high slot was knocked down by Galvis. But quickly Martone throws it on him, and
that's a bad penalty. He knew it was coming.
And they'll get Martone for the hold with 8:11 to go in the third period. But Ethan McKenzie from West Kelowna, BC has State Canada to a 6-4 lead.
TD Easy Line, how can I help you?
Wow, TD really is available anytime, huh?
Yep, even at
11:33 p.m.
Good, because I lost my debit card.
No worries. You can lock it with the TD app.
That's great.
Would you like us to order a replacement card?
Let's do that. I better call you back.
Literally anytime.
Give me the keys. Julian, come.
Switch to TD for better banking anytime. TD, ready for you.
At OK Tire, we service small vehicles. We service big vehicles. And we service vehicles that make big vehicles look like small vehicles.
Hi, we're Felix, a new kind of healthcare company helping you access weight loss care on your terms. Beyond diet and exercise, your weight can be shaped by your biology. So our licensed healthcare practitioners can treat weight loss with this in mind. Start your visit today at felix.ca.
Canada going to a big penalty kill. Porter Martone into the box. It's the open hand, the right hand around the shoulder of Galvis. He knew in the middle of doing it that he was going to get a penalty, trying to argue it, but that's going to get called every single time, man. It was penalties that plagued Canada last year.
Right.
And so many
22, minor penalty holding.
big moments were power play goals against last year, trying to make sure that doesn't happen here tonight.
They were shorthanded 27 times in 5 games, 5 against the Czechs in the quarterfinals, who scored twice on their power plays. This is their first power play of the game tonight.
Better, but you don't love that situation. The old good penalty, bad penalty, that would be classified as a bad penalty by Porter Martone.
Sam O'Reilly steps in for the face-off, drafted the first round by Edmonton, then traded to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Isaac Howard. And the face-off, wow. Secret wasn't won fairly. He and O'Reilly are having some words.
Someone's got to get a penalty here.
Hang on.
Oh, the referee taking it on his own shoulders.
Said it was on me.
He's bailing him out.
They both got warnings here.
Oh, my word.
Now, hang on.
I think they have to reset 2 minutes on
the clock had run.
On the penalty, make sure the clock is at the right time. But that was the linesman bailing out Sam O'Reilly. It could have been a 5-on-3.
Right, for 2 minutes.
At this point, if you're Sam O'Reilly, you better put your stick upside down and not move. Or win it clean.
A sarcastic cheer goes up from the fans as the faceoff finally gets executed. Chihas loose in the corner, back for Sikora. Czechs trying to draw back within 1-8. Inside 8 to go here in the third period. Kubiesa. Sikora shoots. That was blocked in front by O'Reilly. On his backhand, Brunick got a tough play. Now it's pounded down the ice by Baudouin. Galvis. Squeezed by Luchenko. Chihas. There's a back run for Kubiesa. Novotny for Galvis. Winds across the top, feeds that back for Kubiesa. Galvis for Sikora. Has the look, sends it back in front of him, trying to find the stick of Chihas. Knocked away by Brunick. Brunick shaken up on the play. Galvis back across Sikora, slap pass across. Brunick off the boards, but not out. Galvis holds it. Inside a minute to go on the Czech power play. Galvis looks back across. And that shot was blocked from Chihas. That time it was Reshny got in the way. Novotny in for Sikora. Secret feeds that back down to Novotny, looking back across. George knocked that away, is trying to bunt that in was Chihas. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Galvis, Chihas, Kubiesa. Now Kubiesa with a shot, he rattled that wide. Sikora being tied up there by Rushdie. Tired penalty killers on the ice for Canada now. Been a long time in the offensive zone for the Czechs. Sikora. Now Novotny jam plays, but George is down. The puck is loose, and George has it with 11 seconds to go in the Czech power play.
More surviving the power play than killing it is Canada. Brunick was eating pucks. 3 or 4 different shots into Brunick. That one up into the chest. Those don't feel very good, but he stayed on the ice. This one on the rebound. Oh, to pivot and take it in the hand.
Ouch.
But the awareness to know to get down to block it that quickly. He's checking the damage on his right thumb. Harrison Brunick stout in front of the net.
Off the face-off, controlled by the Czechs. Here's Nestrashil. Drops that back. And that shot was blocked by Baudouin. Martone back on the ice. 3 shots for the Czechs in that power play. Remains a 6-4 lead for Canada. Danford flips it ahead, finds Martone. In with Baudouin, walking in, shoots. Rebound, loose in front. They try to dig it free. And O'Reilly was digging away. He got dumped at the end of the play by Curran. 6-4, Canada leads. 5:56 to go here on the campus of the University of Minnesota.
This season on Pluto TV,
Can you put a price tag on Wonder?
we know the holidays are expensive.
Starting to feel like Christmas.
Treat yourself with free movies, free TV shows, and so much more on Pluto TV.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
It was a year ago tomorrow that Latvia stunned Canada at the World Junior Championship in Ottawa. Well, they'll meet on the anniversary. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, our coverage starts. The shootout win by the Latvians, one of the greatest upsets in the history of this tournament.
Canada's just trying to start their tournament off with a revenge tour from last year.
Right, the Czechs in the quarters last year, the loss, and now Latvia, of course, the host nation sets the schedule. So it was Team USA who decided to lay it out like this.
And no details are lost by those schedulers.
No. These poor linesmen.
You don't want to do it at this point in the game, but you give a guy a penalty early in the game, either team,
right,
and it stops all the diving in.
Control by the Czechs. Medals in 3 straight years for the Czechs. Prior to that, they've gone 17 consecutive without one. Their last medal before that was in the United States in North Dakota in 2005. Plays that back, and a long point shot by Nafisman is gloved easily by Carter George.
This Canada team has been trying to finalize their system, but what we have not seen them do at any point in their 3 pre-competition games or in this game is sort of go into a defensive shell. I don't know if that's not the personality or that's not the tactics of Dale Hunter, but 5.5 minutes left. You're up by 2 goals. Most teams would be a little more discretionary in activating and pinching and being aggressive. We haven't seen that out of Canada just yet.
Zemlichka gets a warning there. And the puck controlled by Canada. Here's McKenzie with it. Played back in. by Mann, and now intercepted by Iginla with Martone and Luchenko. Martone throws that towards the goal. That's gloved, and Orszalak will be forced to hold that. With Luchenko lurking dangerously.
It's not bad. Offensive zone faceoffs can change, slow the game down, be organized. You'd rather that than something else. That's good by TJ Iginla. Active stick, good body position, move it, then drive it. Even when you're knocked over, don't retaliate. Like, all those little details this time of the game are what gets you over the finish line.
Now Misa for the face-off against Sikora. And Misa won that back, but it's moved up by Chihas. And here's Parekh with it. Zane Parekh with Reed. Parekh up to center ice for Martone. Tips that back for Misa, racing in on Sikora. And they joust in the corner. Vesanichka, who plays for Portland in the Western League, out to center ice. Reed knocked that down. And Reed back across for Parekh. Snaps that pass ahead to Misa. In comes Misa for Martone. That was ticked away by Nestershil at the last moment. Chihas. In across the line, took a whack at Iginla. Nestershil plays it back across. They score! It's Galvis. And the Czechs are back within one with 4.5 to go in the third period.
They just do not quit. Keep on attacking. Cameron Reed gets caught here. He thinks he's going to get this puck. He doesn't get the puck. He doesn't get the body. And Galvis, who joins, ends up with a quick 2-on-1. Chihas is having a monster game. Helps to create that for Nestershil. And Galvis slams it home over top of the pad. But that's Reed in the neutral zone. Not getting a piece of the puck or the man. TJ Iginla couldn't sort out a 3-on-2 and a nice pass and finish. And Czechia back within one.
Galvis with a goal and an assist in the game.
He's got a little Lane Hudson in him. Shifty lefty, dancing all around the offensive zone.
McKenna knocks that down and sweeps it in. And again, after a goal against Canada, goes back to the Hage Martin McKenna line. Out to center ice. Aitchison kicks that ahead, but it's brought in by the Czechs. Benak plays it back in. Now Danford knocks that free to McKenna. Outlet pass for Martin. Looks ahead and finds Hage. In comes Michael Hage. Throws it back in front for Martin. That just missed. And Martin just threw down Jiricek. Here's Aitchison. Walks in, shoots. And that hit the defender, Fiebiger, in front. Danford looks back down to Hage. Wraparound try off the skate. That rolled just wide. And up the other side comes Benak by Aitchison and back down to the Canadian zone. Danford moves away from Klima. Feeds it back down to the Czech zone as Desnoyers goes after it. Looks down to O'Reilly. Feeds that back. Brunick a long shot, skips wide. And Klima looks back to Jiricek. That's broken up. Baudouin centers it. And Novotny knocked that away. Vesanichka moves it ahead, trying to find Klima. Rolling puck. Hook tried to poke that back in front. Brunick broke that up. Now Hook. Vesanichka plays it back across. Galvis shoots. That was blocked by O'Reilly. Galvis back on it. 2:45 to go in the third period. Poke check there by Desnoyers. Played back in by Galvis. McKenzie plays it back around for Brunick. Pass back in front, and O'Reilly had to be quick to chip that away.
He doesn't want the puck. He wants to go off the ice. He's barely moving. He should change.
Brunick tied up in the corner by Zemlichka. Here's O'Reilly on the puck from the referee's skate, and O'Reilly moves it down. And icing waved off as moving back is Matthias Mann. Czechs out shooting Canada 32-26. Canada leads 6-5. Lifted back out by Perek. A race for it now as Mon goes back with Martone trailing on him. Kubiesa out to center ice. That was chopped ahead by Perek. In comes Kubiesa on Perek, who stays with him step for step. And now inching out is Orshilak, but Canada has possession. And lifted back up by Iginla to the check line. Martone knocked down that clearing attempt from Mon. Loose at center ice, here's Misa. And Misa taps that back to Aitchison. 90 seconds to go in the third period. Iginla gains center ice and lifts it back down to the check zone. Canada makes a quick change here as the McKenna line comes back on. And Nestrashin has it knocked down by McKenna. Once again, Osterlock trying to make his way to the check bench, but they're holding him for now. And they can't gain possession. Now they do. Sikora shoots. That's off the glass and out of play. And so with 1:07 to go, the Czechs will get the goalie out and get the extra skater on.
I imagine a timeout will be called here for Czechia. They can sort out their game plan. Here's the 6-5 goal. For Canada was in good position, but all of a sudden, one bad decision by Cameron Reid find themselves on the wrong side of the puck. And TJ Iginla not able to fight off Chihash and Nestrasil. And a no-looker. How about that pass? And pretty tidy finish for a defenseman in Galvis. So that sets the table here. Minute 7 left on the clock. Offensive zone face-off for Czechia. Exactly what you want. You call your timeout, rest your guys. They can play the rest of the game. Your top offensive players.
And now we'll get an idea of who Dale Hunter wants in this situation.
I would imagine Lachenko on the right side would be out there for the face-off. I see Hage on the ice. You're thinking of right. O'Reilly, of course, a guy that Dale Hunter knows so well from London. There's O'Reilly out there to take the defensive zone face-off. Was just giving the tap Baudouin.
So McKenzie and Brunick on defense.
Martone as a right winger. Baudouin as a left winger. And O'Reilly to take the face-off.
It will be Sikora for the draw for the Czechs.
Oh, no. Good luck trying to get this puck down.
Alan Scott, the linesman from the U.S., drops it. O'Reilly wins it. Run around for Baudouin. Looks ahead. He's got Martone. Martone scores. The captain with the empty netter, and Canada's back up by 2.
Let's give Dale Hunter an assist. Got the right guys out there, and they knew what they were doing. The way Baudouin released to the left wing, that was going to be a one-draw, hard rim. And it's a big responsibility for Baudouin. You got to get over there. You got to handle it. You got to know if you're going to get pitched down on or if you can make a play. He's able to take a couple shoulder checks and then hit Martone on the tape for an easy finish. That is a dream. 7 seconds from defensive zone face-off. Porter Martone saying, thank you very much, Sam O'Reilly. Thank you very much, Cole Baudouin. That's why they were on the ice to end the game.
Now Martone gets a penalty here.
Well, Canada number 22, minor penalty for unsportsmanlike.
So a little tap on Novotny there.
That's silly. I mean, it's an unsportsmanlike penalty, and that's in a situation by the bench that could escalate badly.
Well, we've
seen it before going down the bench.
In 2009, James Van Riemsdyk clotheslined a Canadian player on the flyby.
Somewhat out of character. This sort of behavior probably more in character part of Martone, who's a bit of an antagonist. But now Czechia can win a faceoff, get the goaltender back out, and have a minute to try to score 2 more. Discipline has been a theme for this team all training camp prior to this opening game. Rather play this one out 5-on-5 comfortably. That's the revenge you're looking for.
Face off, one back by Baudouin. Of course, Canada can shoot it down now, killing a penalty.
I can get the goalie out right now. I mean, what are you waiting for?
Nestrashill moves in. Orshilak is still in the Czech net.
Are you worried about goal differential between a 3-way tie with Finland and Czechia and Canada?
Possible, I guess, yeah. that back. It's picked off and brought up by O'Reilly. Gains center ice and flips it back down to the Czech zone. Brought up by Benak. Boy, these two have played some classics in recent years. And this one went back and forth. And Canada will skate away as Jurczyk shoots and George kicks that out. And a 7-5 win. What a night to open this World Junior Hockey Championship. Zane Parekh, a big part of the story, scores twice. Final shots 32-27 in favor of Czechia.
What a brilliant game for this tournament to kick off on. Two teams that have a bit of a rivalry going right now. Two teams that are gold medal contenders. And 7-5. That wasn't a 2-1 game. That is coach's nightmare, fans' delight. 7-5 for Canada.
The highest scoring Canada-Czech game since 1995, the tournament in Red Deer. That game was played in Calgary. Jamie Rivers. Rivers Boat Gambler.
My old roomie.
Scored the winning goal in that one.
Canada last year scored how many goals? 13.
Yeah.
They're more than halfway to that total after the first game against a really good team in Czechia.
Now we'll get the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian national anthem. The player of the game awards are pretty cool. They're woven blankets with the Minnesota land of 1,000 or 10,000 lakes. And the player's name will be added to the patch on the blanket.
The best players of each team will now be awarded with a Faribault Mill blanket featuring the land of 10,000 rinks mural specifically commissioned for the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship and finished with the player of the game patch. Designed by Minnesota-based Indigenous artist Shauna Boulette-Grapentine as part of the Assist 26 community initiative, the artwork honors the Indigenous lands, cultural teachings, and deep hockey roots that define Minnesota. The prize will now be presented by Courtney Reese, Senior Vice President of Destination Branding and Strategy at Meet Minneapolis. The best player of Team Czechia, number 18, Tomas Kolitin.
Well, the team scored a couple of goals for the Czechs.
His line was very good with Kern and Hernak.
The best player of Team Canada, number 19, Zane Parekh.
He had to wait a while to get his chance to play in this tournament. But he made up for that. What an opening game performance.
Made the most of it and just showing why he's special. Showing exactly what makes him unique as a player.
And now, fans, we ask that you please rise if you are able for the national anthem of Canada.
wild 60 minutes of hockey, everything this tournament is, tons of crazy offensive talent, tons of mistakes. And in the end, Canada, for the first time in 3 years, gets the better end against Czechia. Back to wrap up after this.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Metals program to representing Team Canada. Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons. Try the Tim's Holiday Meal today.
Canada's Ultimate 50-50 is back. 3 huge draws across the country. It's Hockey Canada's biggest power play yet. Score your chance to win at hockeycanada5050.ca or scan the QR code on your screen.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
From a first game to their biggest game. From Esso medals to gold medals. We're dedicated to Canada's game.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
We are made in Canada. Homegrown, Canadian-owned and operated. We're neighbors. Friends. Family. We're more than just made in Canada. We're a fabric of Canada.
4 more games for you tomorrow and a quick turnaround for Canada. 17 hours and change. They'll be on the ice against Latvia.
Chihas. In across the line, took a whack at a this line just keeps on cooking.
One of the early standouts of pre-competition in camp was Brady Martin. Michael H makes this all happen with his speed, though. He draws the traffic and gets it to Gavin McKenna with a little bit of space. And once McKenna has space, he's brilliant. Spins, wheels. This looks like a blind pass. It's not. Martin sliding and feeling the space in the lane and McKenna finding him. But it's Page driving it deep that sets it all up. Catch, release quickly to open the scoring for Canada in the tournament. Brady Martin continues his excellent form.
Began the year with Nashville of the National Hockey League. Inside, 3 to go. Wasenichka drops it back for Penak. That long shot, tip, score! Deflected in front by Thomas Politin. And the Czechs have tied it up inside, 3 to go in the first period.
Perfect tip by Politin as Carlson dropped his stick. The group was a little bit tired. It's a man-on-man, and nobody's got the man in front. A little bit of confusion for Canada on the high roll up top. No chance for Carter George whatsoever. You got to talk it out and make sure if you're going to cover anybody, that's the guy you cover. You don't chase guys out by the blue line if there's confusion. Lechenko was there, Brunik were there, down low. Neither one of those two guys ties up Politin, and late.
Wasenichka drops it back for Penak. That long shot, tip, score! Deflected in front by Thomas Politin. And the Czechs have tied it up inside, 3 to go in the first period.
Perfect tip by Politin as Carlson dropped his stick. The group was a little bit tired. It's a man-on-man, and nobody's got the man in front. A little bit of confusion for Canada on the high roll up top. No chance.
Back to Hage with some room. Shoot, scores! Michael Hage with a long-distance rocket, and Canada's back on top. And this line strikes again.
Chemistry is so palpable for this line. Everyone moving together. And it's the play here. Page stops up, support underneath from McKenna in a good defensive position to hit the activating defender on the far side, Danford. And then it's Martin to Hage with lots of traffic crisscrossing. And that's Danford, who was starting the play, flashing in front of the eyes of Orsulak. Hage goes bar down to regain the lead for Canada.
Hage, the Montreal first-round pick in 2024, was not invited to play for Canada. To Danford, drops it off to Martin. Back to Hage with some room. Shoot, scores! Michael Hage with a long-distance rocket, and Canada's back on top. And this line strikes again.
Chemistry is so palpable for this line. Everyone moving together. And it's the play here. Page stops up, support underneath from McKenna in a good defensive position to hit the activating defender on the far side, Danford. And then it's Martin to Hage with lots of traffic crisscrossing. And that's Danford, who was starting the play, flashing in front of the eyes of Orsulak. Hage goes bar down to regain the lead for Canada.
Hage, the Montreal first-round pick in 2024, was not invited to play for Canada. To Danford, drops it off to Martin. Back to Hage with some room. Shoot, scores! Michael Hage with a long-distance rocket, and Canada's back on top. Score! Wojciech Chihas on the tip, and the Czechs have tied it with a penalty coming to Canada. Wojciech Chihas, the LA second-round pick, who will be going to Kelowna when this tournament's over. has tied it up at 2.
It was a penalty coming up to Baudouin there on the slash on man. But then the Canadian forwards get confused because they got 3 guys pointing out, I have this guy, I have that guy. It's not man on man. It's 6 on 5. You can't play man on man because guess what? Someone's going to be wide open on the back door, and it's Chihash sitting there because he's the one unaccounted player as everyone else was trying to sort out, I have my man. You have to retreat back to middle of the ice and read the situation. It can't just be straight man on man when you have a delayed penalty.
Sends it across, they score! Toronto in the Jake McCabe deal. Now Chihash sends it across, they score! And it's Sikora who strikes to give the Czechs their first lead of the game.
Sikora jumps on a defensive zone breakdown by Canada. Clear that doesn't get out, puck gets back behind the net, and then Nestor wins body position, and everyone on Canada is running routes, assuming that they're going to get the puck, and that leaves a slot open. Little touch from Chihash over to Sikora, and Sikora slams it home. Not a lot of chance for Carter George. One-timer from 20 feet away.
And 4 goals in 7 games in last year's tournament.
It's been a pain in the butt for Canada.
Toronto in the Jake McCabe deal. Now Chihash sends it across, they score! And it's Sikora who strikes to give the Czechs their first lead of the game. Drops it back to Reed for Perek, moves it and shoots, scores! Zane Perek ties the game with 2:58 to go in the second. What a snipe!
And that's how you score 30 goals in a junior season, with a shot like that. Zane Perek, who's wandered all over the offensive zone, Cameron Reed as well, takes this bouncing puck. Reed sort of mishandles it back to him. Drag, pull, boom. And it's Galvis who is in front of Orsulak, but it's the speed of the release and the quality of contact. It's tidy over the glove of Orsulak. Zane Perek, one of the best offensive defensemen in the CHL of the last 30 years. Ties it up for Canada.
Back-to-back 30. Down by Perek. In comes Perek with a shot, scores! Zane Perek again, a power play goal, and Canada's got the lead.
This is what makes Zane Perek special. We saw it in the tying goal, and we're going to see it in the go-ahead goal. The creativity to wander in the offensive zone, whether it's 5-on-5 or in this case on the power play. He just picks up this loose puck, slides, takes his time, then quick pull and release. Martin in front of the net, huge on the screen.
Sikora walks out and shoots, and George makes a great stop. Rebound, the other side, they score! Polatine, the tying goal for the Czechs. His second of the game. 4-4.
Back and forth they go. It's 1-on-5 in the offense zone by Galvis, and he buys enough time to create a seam to Sikora, and then it's a rebound, backboards. What do we know about the backboards so far? They're lively. It's been evident in both games that Polatine able to get a piece of the rebound for Carter George to get back across. Wins a battle against Danford. Danford on his stomach, and Polatine puts it in the back of the net to tie it up. These two teams, nothing between them. And how about Galvis? It's a 1-on-5. He's working around.
Feeds it back across. Sikora walks out and shoots, and George makes a great stop. Rebound, the other side, they score! Polatine, the tying goal for the Czechs. Misa in with Martone. TJ Kinley shoots, scores! There he is, TJ Iginla. 5-4 Canada. He had done everything but score. Now he's done that too.
He was due. And what Michael Misa loves to do is get to the middle of the ice. He doesn't take a path down the boards. He takes it to the middle, draws attention, and then distributes wide. And just on side, I think Michael Misa, Iginla with the drag and pull, finally get one around Jurček, above the pad, below the glove. And Iginla regains the lead. 5-4. I'm sure it's not for the last.
McKenzie walks it and shoots, scores! Ethan McKenzie, and Canada's up by 2.
And that'll get him a contract with somebody.
What a moment for Ethan McKenzie.
To tell himself he was deserving to be included with this group of high-end players. Hayes digs it out. Maybe.
Get across the line to the whack at Iginla. This will plays it back across the score. It's Galvis, and the Czechs are back within 1 with 4.5 to go in the third period.
They just do not quit. Keep on attacking. Cameron Reid gets caught here. He thinks he's going to get this puck. He doesn't get the puck. He doesn't get the body. And Galvis, who joins, ends up with a quick 2-on-1. Chihash is having a monster game. Helps to create that.
Drops it. O'Reilly wins it. Run around for Baudouin. Looks ahead. He's got Martone. Martone scores! The captain with the empty netter, and Canada's back up by 2.
Let's give Dale Hunter an assist. Got the right guys out there, and they knew what they were doing. The way Baudouin released to the left wing, that was going to be a